As I get home. Big hour. Big hour. Big hour. Piece of hell. Not really, but I made it. That's good. Yep. Yo, what's the deal, lovely? How's the Sunday going? It is great. It was great. Actually, just getting back up. I just beat my record from yesterday unintentionally. But the live got so good this morning, so I ain't go to bed till about what was it, like 12 or 1? Oh no, it was 2 p.m. The day before that I did 14 hours. Yesterday I did 16 hours. I think I'm done. I think I'm done with that record, man. Hey, I did say I was gonna be grinding, man. I said this gonna be the year, man. What's the deal, baby? Toddy in the building. What's up? Woke up, you still going? Your live still going, right? Yeah, I just got me about at least about 5 hours of sleep. I'm only gonna be on for a couple hours though, cause I gotta go to work tomorrow. So that's why it's free talk night today. Free talk. Ain't even no specific topic, man. It's whatever somebody want to talk about, as long as it ain't getting crazy or something. I got 2 hours of sleep last night. You got 2 hours of sleep? Okay. I think you was in here. There was a lot of people that was in here. 6 people in here, man. Hit them likes for me real quick. Gotta give me the 1K and get some more people up in here. Oh man. Said no drama. Last night, it was. No, it wasn't that bad though. It wasn't that bad. Most of the time, it don't be that bad. It might be highly heated moments. So maybe a couple times, some people probably got offended and because how people say, but eventually it goes back to smooth again. You know, my live don't usually just stay hectic or nothing for real. And then always, if it did, which I ain't never had to boot nobody out yet if it got too bad. Not lately, I lucked up, but usually it don't. It don't make it that far. But no, it was actually pretty good though. A lot of people, shoot, when I found out my man's Black Jesus, I ain't know he lived near me. He just finally kind of met up yesterday. He was in my life for some few hours or stuff until I got off too. And a lot of people trying to start to understand him more and see what his intentions is. They might not agree with everything, but they see his intentions. Oh yeah, thank you for that mustache. Good looks, baby Toddy. Good looks. Hey, give me a better chair, man. The chair I was sitting in, but man, it's
Kev, your
falling.
life got me in trouble last night.
Oh man, oh man. Mm-mm-mm.
Got
Say
me
baby Toddy need a whooping and stuff around here being in people lives too long.
because I was listening because I had to drive about an hour to go to this guy's house, and he was like,
Yeah.
"Text me when you're 15 minutes away," and I didn't know no such thing because I was like so interested in the live. And then it's funny because I pulled up his house and he was right behind me. He was like, "Didn't I tell you to text me when you were 15 minutes away?" I'm like, "Well, I was in a discussion. I was
No
busy."
my.
And then y'all were still talking while he's sitting next to me. He's like, "What are they talking about?" I was like, "It's the construct of the Black Americans in America and how the American dream is bullshit."
Mm. Oh wow.
He was like, "What?" I was like, so then I had to leave. I was like, "Dang it!"
It said it's time to go. Dang, what the heck? So they don't let me upload a video after that? What, 12 hours too long? I thought I did 11 hours. Oh, wow,
But one of
abandoned.
the things someone was saying is like how there's people who aren't part of like America or not part of like federal laws. They don't have to follow them.
Hmm.
There's been a couple of people at my job because I work at a credit union who come and they like try to test the theories against the banks, and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't can't really work.
Yeah.
One lady, she
Wow.
came up and she was like, I would like to take out my $250,000 that's um insured by the banks. And I'm like, do you have $250,000 to take out? She's like, no, under code something something. It was like she had like a whole Bible of stuff, I guess, workarounds. And she was like, technically, you all have to loan me. I'm like, you can get a loan, but you have to pay it back.
You're right.
And I was like,
Don't
that
worry about
$250,000 is up to insurance as if something were to happen and the systems crash or someone, breaks into like internal revenue and stuff like that. It's
it.
not
Mm-hmm.
you to come withdraw from. So it was like a whole 45-minute thing. And then she was telling me, she's like, you don't have to put stamps on mail. You write this um type of code, and legally the US Postal Service has to take it. I was like, ma'am, what do you want? So the conversation last night
That
kind of
seems like
reminded me
she's
of
trying to
that.
get over.
She really was. And it was like when we
She like,
just
let's see what she
opened,
know.
and she literally like set my brain on fire. I was like, I don't know what you want me to do, but you can't have $250,000, and I'm not putting that piece of mail in our post office box.
Mm-mm-mm. She's like, I'm about to get this girl fired today.
Like
She might
hell.
not know no better.
And then there was one guy, he had an ID basically saying he was part of a tribe, but it
Yeah.
wasn't a Native American tribe. It was something else, but it was outside of like the government's restrictions and stuff. I was like, yeah, let me ask my manager if I can take this ID. I
Right.
don't know how this works. It's not part of our manual. I was like, if you work outside of the laws of the government, why do you want a bank account?
Yeah, they try to. It sound like they try to straight be slick or something real quick. Like, man, you can't trust nothing nowadays. So all you can do is your job. So they gotta understand that.
Right. I'm like,
You
please
said they
stop.
try to talk to the manager and stuff.
Oh yeah, they like talked to him and they were like, unfortunately, we just can't take this ID because
Mm-hmm.
there's no way for us to log it in our system. You're afraid for your money? Why? I mean, I saw one video, they were like, the banks don't have money. And I was like, so you went into the bank during holiday season, everybody and their mama taking out $5,000, every what, fifth person in line. And I'm like, you do know banks have to order money. We just don't have millions of dollars just sitting in the vault.
Mm.
And people get so upset. And I'm just like, you can't have $2,000, $200,000. Like, what? They're like, y'all had no problem taking it when I brought it in. And I was like, yeah. And we put it in plastic bags and sent it off to the bricks truck. It didn't stay here.
And that'd be crazy. I bet they try to tell you how to work your job and stuff. This ain't how it's supposed to be.
Right. They're like, well, that's not what happened last month. I'm like, our policy changed last month. You'd be surprised, Lovely. People be asking for like buku amounts of money where they have to go to different like banks to get the money out. And then some people try to order it. It's just I'm just like, why are you walking around with that much money? What are you about to buy?
I don't know. That's all like that don't sound right. And then Hoot, right? You ain't about to have that much in your. But they about to have the briefcase. Did they have the briefcase ready at least?
Look, I've seen people come in with briefcases, um, like workout bags, grocery bags. One guy, he actually had a cute little bag. It was like a little cartoon robbery bag with the dollar sign on it. He had money in it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, that's cute. It's a little suspicious, but it's cute. Oh yeah, it's definitely types of money laundering and scamming going on because we have to you have to fill out a currency transaction report over $10,000. And when people hear that, they're like, I don't want the IRS in my building, in my business. Let me just get $9,999. I'm like, what the hell?
Let me get all that.
Do dancers bring you ones? Yes, they do, with their little stank
Wow.
attitudes.
She had to go there.
They do. They come up in there. Some of them can be nice and some of them just really rude.
Had one of the ones that ever smelled like buns.
Yes, and I gave it back to her. It has
My
gum.
bad. That's the one they swiped.
Look, I had this one girl got mad at me. I deposited $500 worth of ones for her and gave her $4 back because it was wet. It had gum on it, glitter, other substances that I'm not quite sure what it was. And I gave it back to her and she had a
Mm.
whole attitude. And she was like, if you don't want to fucking work today, don't come to work. I was like, it's $4. Go buy you a 4 for 4. Like, why are you pressed?
That's why I asked that question because I remember you telling that story in another live the other day. You're
Yeah, I'm just
That's
like,
funny.
I'm like, I get it. You getting money. Great. Lovely. They're like, you just mad because I got
Get
more money than you.
money.
I'm like, okay.
Get money.
I mean,
I got
I
more
can
money than
also
you.
shake my butt too. I
All
just don't
right.
have a babysitter at night, ma'am.
Hey.
hmm
Babysitter so she can do the booty sitter.
What?
I don't know.
But yeah, people need to start being nicer to the local bank people. It's not our fault.
Well, I don't know if you were in the live that I was
She
in a
said you
few
was
days
acting
ago.
like that.
We were talking about customer service. Wasn't that last week?
Oh
We were talking
yeah,
about customer service.
I was
Said
making
probably a
that
couple days, some days ago. Yeah.
that I feel like once a month we should be able to fight customers and nobody know what day that is. But no consequences.
I ain't gonna wait till I download the video and told me it's too
Some people
long.
need to be put in check. Some people are so rude when it comes to something that you're actually going to purchase and you're actually going to buy, and then you treat the other person like it's like you're devaluing yourself because you're paying for the product anyway. Like it's crazy. It's crazy how people are
Mm-mm-mm.
can be so mean
Yeah, 'cause people be
and so
worried about
rude.
themselves at the end of the day. That's all they do.
hmm
They like,
Hmm.
well, your position ain't got nothing to do with me. I want what I want right now, and it's me. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got. I don't care
hmm
what it is. You know. So people don't care about themselves.
Yeah, I got cussed out Saturday because the lady wasn't comprehending what I was saying to her.
Comprehension.
And she was like, "Go get me a supervisor because you not saying nothing you don't know." I'm like, I mean, I only worked here for
Uh,
3 years, but it's fine.
Right. It's amazing the avenues people will go to discredit you when they're not even right.
Exactly. I
you're
was like,
right.
"Ma'am, you're a brand new member. Your check was placed on a 5 day hold, and because of the amount, security placed it on extra 5 day hold. That's not my fault. Call back on Monday. Speak to them. Cuss them out."
So people don't really want to follow the rules or the
Oh,
guidelines.
of course, no. They always have to be the exception to the rule.
Hey, that's entitlement.
Like I understand that, but I really have to girl, please cry me a river and then drown in it.
Cry me a
Right.
river. Ooh, cry
Sink or
me a
swim.
river.
It's so funny because like my ability to have empathy for people is like literally just depleted over the past 5 years.
Is that because of the customer service role that you've played? Because you get presented with so many different personalities and characteristics of people?
Yes, because like everyone lies and they're not good at it.
Uh, at least be good at it.
When I used to be
You gotta get
customer
that law
service
degree.
at Lowe's and returns, oh, they hated me. I wasn't returning anything, nothing. Somebody tried to return a tool set with rocks in it. I'm like, I'm not even got to open this.
Oh my.
It don't even feel like the correct tool. Like what? One man told me, he was like, my mom died and I'm trying to return this edger. And I was like, do you have the receipt? He's like, no. I'm like, then I can't return it. He's like, but my mom died. I
Right.
was like, I don't really know how your mom dying like makes up for not having the receipt. I mean, I'm sorry, but I think that means you can go in her house and look for it. And he was like, where's your care? Where's your I'm like, it doesn't make sense. I don't know why you're giving me that piece of information.
Yeah, that is a little surprising. People will want to try to use their own personal experiences that they're going through to not follow through the channels of like you need to have a receipt. I'm like you need to have a receipt because you can lose your job if you accepted it, right?
Right. Oh, my favorite story is when I was working in drive through and it was during the pandemic, so no one wanted to come inside because, COVID or whatever. So this
Mm-hmm.
lady pulls up and she was like, oh, I need a loan check. And I'm like, you have to come inside. I can't process that in drive through. She's like, I have fibromyalgia. And the speaker was off and my manager could hear. And I was like, okay, I have MS. And what does that mean? And my manager was like, Tatiana, did you just tell her that? I was like, no, the headset wasn't on, but it's a valid question. She was like, you can't say
Mm.
that. I was like, you're saying you have fibromyalgia, then you should just have the check mailed to you.
Mm. I think that's the hard part we get because I work, for a university in the disabilities department, and I have students who come to me, and it's like, you didn't talk to me all semester, and now it's finals, and it's like, but my anxiety's been high, my this, my that, it's all been it's caused a battle in why I don't have good grades, and I'm like, why didn't you reach out to me months ago? So it's like we can't that's why labels are so different for me because people will actually manipulate them and use them against the system or what like you with like MS and stuff. It's like that you have that, but you don't misconstrue it, you don't manipulate it.
Yeah. Use it. Use it
Yeah,
to
because
get over.
it doesn't make sense like that. Unless I'm just like really incapable of like doing something, it's no point in me bringing up
Yo.
I have MS because half the time people don't even believe me. So
Mm-hmm. That part.
I had one guy, it was so funny. I was like, oh, I have multiple sclerosis. He was like, your back looks fine. I was like, that's
What?
that's
What?
scoliosis, baby. That's scoliosis.
What? Oh
He
my
was
goodness.
trying so hard to pick up on me. I was dying laughing. I was like, it's okay. I don't think it's gonna work out though. It's fine.
So do you think like, and maybe Kev and Toddy, you can answer this question, that people use their weaknesses to create a different experience? Like what they're weak in, that they're gonna utilize that in something else or gain something from their weakness, I guess.
Yeah, I think some people will use it as a crutch because maybe it's helped them in the past, so they figure that's a thing.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the opposite. I like to crush your spirit if we're in competition and be like, ha, I have MS and I beat you. How does it feel?
Mm-hmm.
I'm disabled
So I
and you
get you on that.
suck. But
I,
I
Yeah,
just,
put the
I
same
think
video down twice.
I think they're strengths. We call it at our university we call it abilities define you. It's not a disability. It's actually an ability because you're hindered from something which makes you overcompensate in another area.
mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Like, my organization skills are top notch. My problem solving skills, because how I have to figure stuff out, I can probably figure stuff out way differently, and sometimes it can be more efficiently because I have to work around it to let it process in my brain. And that's another thing I have to tell people. I was like, I know it's going to sound silly, but if I don't understand something, you have to explain it to me like I'm five, because my brain just doesn't
It's good.
connect like it's
AJ in the
supposed
building.
to. Hi, AJ, again.
What's up, AJ? Again.
Right. Hey, AJ again.
We're just popping around in
Even
each
though I was in
other's
my
life.
backup
You
last
wouldn't
time.
even speak.
Yeah, I seen her in that room. I seen both her and baby in the. I was on my
Oh, in
backup.
Nisha's room?
I forgot who room it
Oh, I
was. I
wasn't. We
just
were in
on my
Nisha's room
backup.
earlier.
Yeah,
Oh, I was
T
in her
Marie.
room too. I was in
Yeah,
like three rooms.
Empress was in there too.
Yeah.
Empress been laying low, huh?
Say you okay? Yeah, I'm good. How you feeling?
I was in Kanaw's room earlier where her and Miss met, and I just listened, and I was like, Kana, you never go to bed. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you never go to bed.
She need to
That is
go to
one thing I'm
bed.
gonna do going into the. I'm not gonna rob myself of sleep anymore, ever. I think I need to learn how to nap.
Shoot, all I do is work and sleep, so I get plenty of sleep.
I'm honestly mad about how much sleep I get because I feel like I miss everything.
If you don't work, you don't eat.
Yeah, I have to sleep so I can work.
Exactly. That's why I got only a hour and a half on here right now. I can't do like I do on the weekend.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean?
Like your 14-hour live craziness.
Oh yeah, I beat it
I
yesterday.
heard
I
about
literally
it.
beat it yesterday. Literally the day before I did 14, and last night I ended up doing. Even though it got split it off, I did 4 hours with that one section, and then the other one was 12 hours, so I did 16 hours.
Holy shit. That's a long time.
Right. Yeah,
That's the
right.
thing. You should be getting paid for that. Are you getting paid for
You
it?
said, you said, am I? That's the point of doing it. Just to get my stuff up.
Exactly.
You can If you don't grind, like my thing is, everybody don't get blessed to get 1 million followers. Sometimes you gotta grind and you gotta do
Hmm.
long nights to even meet people. So yeah, it don't come easy like that. So
I
Well,
feel
it's the
you.
whole
sometimes you gotta put in a lot.
it's a mission behind everything you do. Sometimes, and I know
Exactly.
sometimes you gotta grind to get there. So
Let me tell you, I gotta keep
if
my
I'm asleep, I ain't.
shorts. I gotta keep my shorts tight to knock out content.
I'm done.
It's so funny when I go into lives and people be like, these women, they just shake their butts and do everything, and I was like, yep, that's how I got my followers. Awkward cricket.
Oh yeah, I forgot about you. Oh yeah, Miss Archangel.
Yep, not
I don't know.
Archangel. That's a new one.
I,
I remember now. That first video.
I feel like
Uh,
this is kind of like the whole music thing. Like you gotta put in so much before you start making money. Like gotta grind it. I don't blame you
be
for
like that.
the
Well, you
crazy.
know what's crazy is I find a lot of music, and because I went into music mode last night, that's why I wasn't on the live all night. It was my birthday weekend,
What's the
so I
deal?
was like, no, I'm gonna
Bruh.
stroll onto something else. But I
Belated.
find a lot of new music on here, and I go to Spotify and I will check that person out. And I'm
Mhm.
like, man, I could make so many videos on these songs and actually help build up a lot of artists. I
Yeah.
don't know. It was just
Do
it
it.
was really on my mind last night, but I was in my zone, so I just decided to just keep it low.
That's
I
what's
don't
up.
make videos,
Mm.
but I need to. I need to. I need to stop being so shy.
My
You
bad.
can't
Before.
do it if you sleep.
So
I wasn't asleep. I was awake. That was the thing.
oh, it's a free talk. Okay, I see that up there. I was like, what's the topic today?
Yeah,
Unless
ain't
Free
nothing.
topic, man. Yeah, I only got a couple hours, and I did it long enough this weekend. I'm good. And I gotta keep it short.
I'm so mad I
I feel like,
missed like the ending of that. Like that was such a good topic yesterday.
yeah, it was so much we was talking about though, but it was good. It actually was good 2 days in a row. Before that, we had
hey J Lo.
Uh,
that's the one that ain't recorded though, but
oh, you didn't. Oh, that was the one that I was in. I
that one
thought
you
you
was
were
in, yeah.
recording Ormiga and
It
stuff. I thought that was the one
yeah,
that was
Omega and that
recorded
dude with the
because I was
Legos and
gonna
all
go
that
back
stuff.
to it.
Yeah, dude with the Legos and all that. Yeah, that stuff. I don't
Oh,
know.
that
Like
was so
TikTok said, community
powerful.
guidelines. I
Oh,
actually think it was because of it might have been you that why I didn't record it. Because remember they booted you for no reason.
yeah. Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
guess
yeah. They did.
ever since then it
I
was a
didn't say
community
nothing.
guidelines. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Yeah, that's
Well,
why I was hoping when I woke up today. I was like, man, please let this go. This was a good live last night. I done did like another 12 hours on that section plus 4 hours, so I did 16 hours. Please let that record. Well, they
so
recorded
even
though,
if
so
they
I'm
don't let it
downloading right now.
record, do you have a backup record plan? Like,
It's no, nah, nope.
can you like
I was
record it from something else?
nah. I just let TikTok record it. I just started getting into this stuff and putting it on YouTube and stuff. So I didn't even know it actually TikTok recorded for you until like some months ago. People was telling me about it and made me thought about the idea. I'm like, I got YouTube and all that stuff, so I put all of my long videos on YouTube, and what I do now is with the long videos, since I be at work sometimes, I plug my stuff, I plug my earphones in while I'm working or sweeping or whatever. I be just put listening to my long videos, and then I listen to the best parts on there. I just jotted down in my notes and stuff the sections like, oh, this had 1 hour and 22 minutes. I jot stuff different parts down, and then I go to YouTube and you can turn it to shorts and stuff. So basically, you can put different clips of stuff on there. So I put my best parts of the clips on there and make more content out of it.
Right. So you pull
Yeah.
from your own content.
Pull from my own that long video because I know people ain't gonna take the
Mm-hmm.
time and sit there and look at no 12 hours of one video or something like that. So you make clips out of them.
That's what you do
What's
is
up, good
that's
people?
not that you. Hey, J Love, you're not just learning from
What's the
yourself. You're learning from other people, but you're learning from
Yep.
yourself, and then
Yep.
that's what keeps you recreating.
Yep, and I listen to everything that happened in my life, so I hear what people be saying and stuff. Like I say, I be trying to understand stuff. Even if I don't get people right now, I would re-listen to it again and see where everybody's points was while I'm at work. Try to understand other people's point of view and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, I ain't understand it at that time because I wasn't thinking at that time. I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, when I tell you I'm trying to understand some stuff, I'll be trying to understand some stuff. More information for me.
Well, I pull from a lot of different lives too. I'll be in religious lives. I'll be in
Yeah.
traditional and submissive lives. I'll be in all this stuff lives, and I'm not always in the box. I'm not always in the box.
Yeah, I feel you.
Nope. Sometimes you just gotta listen to observe in order to discern.
I
Yeah,
guess I got
most definitely.
about that today. Because, like, I know in Kev's live, like, there's a lot of different perspectives, a lot of information there's a lot of information dropped in a lot of lives. But I guess my question is like, what do y'all do with that information? Like, how do you either, if it's resonating with you, how do you take it and apply it? Or if it's not, and it was just like you just learned something, like, what do you do with that?
Yeah, some stuff I would say it just depends on what you listen to. It's like learning life, you know what I'm saying? You just when you walking around in life, you want to observe life and know why stuff is what it is, you know what I'm saying? That's just in human nature anyways, but some stuff you don't apply. It's just understanding other people sometimes and trying to figure out why people think that way and because all you can't always think it's just your way of thinking all the time and all that stuff. You got to see because sometimes I'm just saying it's just understanding people and all that stuff, and then you might get a different outlook or a different way of thinking, and it might readjust your mind a whole different way. So some stuff, yeah, you apply it to some stuff you can teach other people from, or you can reword it and all that stuff. It just depends. All that stuff like it's no different from going to school and stuff or like that, just to learn more stuff or whatever, just to have a
I'm in agreement
better
with
walk in
what Kev
life.
says. I'm in agreement with what Kev says. Sometimes you got to hear it from hear all these different ideologies, all these different indoctrinations or education, whatever we're talking about, systemic racism, religion, all these different aspects. And sometimes you just got to take it in, and and that's how you I'd like to go back and actually go research what other people are actually presenting as well. So I'll go in and I'll do etymology, I'll Google, I'll buy a book, and I'll be like, okay, but I have to do my part in this in order to understand who I really am. I can
Hey,
hear
hey, Kev,
everybody from what they're saying, but
I'm gonna drop
you
down
just
for a second because my
oh,
mute button's not working. I'm sorry, lovely. I'm gonna
Okay,
drop
for,
down and
for sure,
come right back.
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So the reason why I was asking, right? Because like I know I ask questions or whatnot, but like my motivation behind it is under right now. Like occasionally, like like yeah, people will say stuff that'll kind of challenge my thinking. Maybe I see something different. But I was just kind of wondering that because like I can't say that it's like school because I know a lot of people who went to school and like they know this knowledge, but they don't know how to apply it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So it's just like just kind of ask like how are you applying it? Like for me, I apply
yeah. I
it.
was about to say I don't think everything is meant to apply. Some stuff is just to change your way of thinking sometimes, just so you can have a better observance on things, so you can know how to react to certain things. Instead of
Yeah, that's
it's just
yeah, that's what I mean by
so that's
applying it.
apply.
Like
I
not
guess I'm
applying.
about to say it's a form of applying.
Yeah, it's not like
and
applying it.
applying it, does that mean, like, based upon all the experiences that we have in these different lives and the conversations that we have, do we approach people different?
That's what I'm asking. Like, because I feel like everybody who comes into these lives, like, we're pretty solid in who we are for the most part, right? But it's
Yeah.
just like approach people differently based on like the information that we learn.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Or
I believe that this has been a huge, like, learning experience. Like, I even tell the people that I work with in the field that I work in, I was like, I learn more from you than I learn from myself.
Hmm.
hmm
You know, it makes me approach things different, and it makes me address or respond or react different because I'm like, man, wait a minute. That's where accountability comes in. It's like, I, I have to see where you're coming from in order for us to even be on the same page.
that part. Well, and I think that's what's always important because I know like I'm usually asking questions that I'm not necessarily looking for the textbook definition to as much as for, like
I ask,
looking like
I'm gonna give you guys a little anecdote. And I don't
oh,
know if Kev, you do this or if you do this, AJ, but when you ask questions, and I know Tati's still here, when you ask questions, sometimes it's not for you to listen. It's so that person can actually process through that answer them damn self.
well, yeah, of course. Like, yeah, there's definite motivations behind my questions. Like, like for the most part, a lot of my questions is just to gather consensus. But if I hear something that's maybe something I don't understand, I may be asking questions more or less just either get better understanding, or if it's just like a flaw in, if I'm finding like way too many flaws, like the math ain't mathing, then I'm gonna ask you questions to make you kind of think to realize like what you said just didn't make sense.
I was
Like,
in a Go ahead, AJ.
like I will do that sometimes just to kind of sometimes like either prove a point of either like your your philosophy or whatever it is that you're saying is either flawed or you're not really saying anything,
Well,
right?
Toddy was in a live that I was on earlier, or yesterday,
hmm
and we were talking about something. And every time I would ask a question, some somebody would come in and be like, "You're always trying to change up shit by asking a question." But it was the question that was very related to the topic.
Oh
But it's
yeah,
like sometimes was that it,
that
Toddy?
that live gave me anxiety. One, because she kept
Why do you think
yelling
I
so
took a
much.
break?
I was
Why do you
like,
think I
girl,
wasn't on Kev's live last
no.
night? Because I was
That's
like,
why I started doing my puzzle because I was like, you're yelling to make a point, and it's not even a clarity point. And I see what you were
no.
trying to do because you're like, I'm gonna play devil's advocate, and then that's when shit just hit the fan. I was like, oh my god, I'm just
But you
gonna
have to
focus on
understand,
my puzzle.
yeah. And I also have to understand my place though too. especially with the different lives that I'm in and everything. I also have to hold my space for myself, but I also have to give everybody else their space. I got
Well,
to
I
give
was
them
saying,
their space. Sometimes I'm not welcome, and I get that. And
well,
I
I
get
wouldn't
that.
even
And I'm
say
like, okay, I'm
that.
cool.
It was just like the wording all around it. Like I could understand people's viewpoints, but I could understand where confusion was happening because just merely how things are worded, and you tried to break it down to where you changed like the example, because the example that was used wasn't really working. So you would try to like flip it so we could see it from another point of view, which I appreciate because it's like some people don't click like that. Because I'm that way. If you can explain it
Hmm.
another way, that means you have more understanding than I do. That means you can help me grasp it better. And the issue with that live was everybody's like, no, 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 you're wrong. You're wrong. And yeah, that's why you're wrong.
I know it was spicy. Poor chef, because
I know.
I was really trying to like hold out for him. I was like, chef. I was like, no, like yeah,
Yeah,
I did.
I was like, I'm gonna just leave and finish my Hufflepuff puzzle because this is like a lot. And
Yeah, I had to
mm,
log off, but I think that's where we have to, as people, when we realize that we cannot help everyone. But I don't want to skip the people who need to be helped, who are ready for help. I don't want to skip them. So am I skipping them because I'm staying in a life that isn't even meant for me?
because if you think about it, the live we just came from T Marie's live, it was almost the same how he was saying partnership in relationships. It was almost the same, and I thought that's where we were trying to gauge to Chef's lives, but he kept pushing the men's leadership. And then I was trying to explain, I was like, leadership is such a old saying where it's more like safety, and then we got into emotional incest, and then we got into like it just kept
Hmm.
circling back, and it like wasn't closing.
Well, we were
So I
trying
was
to
like,
push into a direction of unity. Well, at least
right.
I was, or you were,
Hmm.
and we were trying to put. Well, how do we come together within these different ideologies that we have? But and I didn't want it to be an attack on chef, an attack on men, and an attack on women. But I was just like, wait, that's why the day before the live was about women need to come together, and actually that we did talk about that in that live about how women need to talk to women about
Hmm.
addressing what we're doing wrong, in this context of hello, why can't we be friends? Why are we so we're competing against each other for the same thing.
Right.
What I noticed, and this is just my observation, right? Because a
I
lot of
can
people
hear
don't
you,
really get.
AJ.
Oh,
Yeah, your
sorry.
tap louder than you.
Oh,
I was
I was
like,
gonna
did
say,
she
is it
tap
the
me?
tap or
yeah.
was it AJ?
Like, trying to tap the screen and
And
talk.
she was putting in that work. Good looks.
Yeah, there you go. No, so like what I was saying is like, and this is just my observation, because usually when those conversations come up, like I'm pretty quiet because I'm observant. But like what I noticed is not only are people not, for me, I feel like people aren't asking the right questions, but we're coming at it wrong, right? We can't come at that issue men versus woman. Like that's apples and oranges. Obviously, we
Agreed.
have differences. The question is how do we come together knowing those differences, right? How do I come together and understand, hey, okay, we have these differences, but what's the common ground? Right? And a lot of the common ground that I find is majority of the time when people are talking about a bad relationship and bashing the other one is you were in the wrong relationship with the wrong person because you didn't ask the fucking correct questions. You can't, you know what I mean? Like you got to ask the right questions. You can't just ask questions for the sake of asking questions and then ask
Agree.
questions
Yep.
to motivate and turn that conversation into something that it becomes just we're just bashing each other.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like, and let
Hmm.
me know if I'm wrong in that observation, but that's definitely
No,
No,
I
that's
definitely
what we were
agree.
trying to definitely like
yeah.
circle around to, but it just kept getting stuck
Still
in
no
this
sign of
simplistic
Nas.
idea. And that's what was just
Hmm.
like ruining it. It was just like, take out the trash. I'm like, it's deep. If you're
Yeah.
an
We
adult,
were really trying to shift it to what
Solution.
you're saying, AJ. We were
yeah.
really trying to shift it to where we can start creating solutions. Okay, now that everybody knows everything, right? Since everybody seems to know everything, what are we gonna do now? It's like, wait a
Yeah.
minute.
But then on the same side, like I'll scroll through lives and I'll hear women talk about, well, I just want to know the man's perspective of this. And the moment a guy comes in the box, he gets 3 words in and they cut him off
I'm up.
Yep.
because
I hate
they
that.
don't want to say.
I
So it's just
hate
like, did
that.
you really want to know what the perspective on that particular issue was from a man's point of view? Or were you just trying to prove a point and trying to prove your narrative that all men are quote unquote a-holes? Like, is that what you were trying to prove? Because we didn't need to do all that. It's just where
That's
I'm coming.
exactly what the
Yeah,
majority of lives are, pretty
Hmm.
much.
yeah,
Clickbait.
yeah. Because
Oh, clickbait. That's a good word. Yeah.
I've done that. I've done that with Chef. You know what I mean? Like when we're in a live, or if we're in Honey's live and we were talking about stuff, and Chef was there, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to. I can't speak on behalf of obviously men. I'm not a man, but we have a man in here, so can you explain this? And then I mute, and I'm like, all right, I want you to explain it.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Because it would be the same shit. Because if they came and they were like, hey, I want to know the woman's perspective on this. And then as I get 3 words in, you cut me off, and now you're just trying to prove that I'm some sort of bitch. Like, that's a problem. You didn't give a shit what I had to say. You just wasted my time.
Right.
And
Who that you talking about?
I find
Mm.
the same argument on both sides. Oh, well, you just wasting my time. Yeah, you're wasting your time because you don't want to fucking listen.
Just
Too
screaming
big
matches.
points.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? How much are we gonna keep pointing out the obvious? There's only so many times I can listen to like the sky is blue. I know it's fucking like,
Right.
let's
But
move on.
yes, I get it. You're damaged. I'm damaged. We all need therapy. We all need help. Okay. Yep. Your mom didn't hug you enough. My dad didn't hug me enough. Yep. I can be a bitch. You can be a dick. Okay. Moving on how we fix it now.
That part, you know what I mean? I guess maybe that's just like my philosophy. Like I'll use an example. Like I remember when I was younger and I was like the brokest of the broke. I used to like listening to songs where people were like twerking and dancing, right? Because what that did was it made me think like, hey, if I work real hard, we shall all be over there twerking. I don't want to listen to a
Hello.
song, you're broke, we're broke, the neighbors are broke, we're all broke. Like fuck that.
Right.
Don't no fucking
How do we talk about joy? Let's talk
We'll all
about what
be
we're
broke
experiencing
together.
in this moment. Like, can we have some fun in all this mess?
it can't be super like, you know what I mean? We got to find balance, I feel like, in those conversations. But we have to find balance in the way that both sides feel like they're heard and people not regurgitating the same shit or like the same soundbite over and over and over and over again.
Right.
Yeah, no,
Right. And I think that's why I've been less on TikTok lately because I'm just like, man, this is the same thing over and over and over again. And it's all a divide.
yeah. So I guess my challenge to everybody is since we all seem to be kind of on the same page with that, how do we change that narrative? Why don't we change the narrative now?
Well, we're drawing a lot of people into like Kev's lives. There's a couple other lives that I go in that actually allow those conversations to happen because there's no reason for a solution if we can't discuss what we're conflicting about. The conflict has to be discussed, and I think that's the challenge that a lot of people have is that they don't want to deal with that conflict. They don't want to address it, they don't want to discuss it, they don't want to conversate about it. They
But
just want to fight against it
I
rather
think that's
than work through it and then come up with a solution.
I think people know that there's a conflict, they just don't know what it is.
Right.
There's a
That
conflict,
part.
we don't know what it is, so let's just keep taking shots in the dark and moving the goalpost. That's why we
Well, we
can't ever.
all talk about how conflict comes within self.
Yeah, like
Like,
you gotta.
because
That's
what
it.
happens when conflict happens, AJ? Like, if there's a conflict, what is everybody doing? They're in their feelings.
They're in their feelings. Feelings come. Feelings, emotions. You're getting emotional now. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that I'm saying. I'm like, I understand that there's a conflict, but even still, as you get older within life, we'll take it out of the men versus woman thing. Let's just talk about life. Life, you're gonna deal with conflict all you fucking life. And at some point, you have to change the way you deal with that conflict. You can't deal with
True.
conflict the same way you did when you were two. You can't be
Mhm.
Exactly.
out here throwing yourself on the ground and flailing like you know what I mean. You're gonna look real stupid. Nobody's gonna take you seriously. But
Well,
as
it's
you
just
Right.
like with
have
healing.
evolved,
With healing though too, people think, oh, you don't just pick a day and say I'm healed and everything's all going to be good.
Right.
You still have to learn how to deal with adversity. You still have to learn how to deal with conflict, because just because you're healing or in the motion of healing doesn't mean that outer experiences are not going to happen. So
I,
Hi,
people think
everybody.
it's like, oh, I'm healed. Everything is fine. No, it's not, because you don't know what you're up against.
right?
Right.
What you got, Niche?
Right. What's
Niche,
up?
I
What's
wanted
up?
to
Turn your
say
camera on.
that
Hey, Niche.
I am. Hey, hey, hey. I wanted to say that I think that everybody has something to add to a conversation. So I'm enjoying TikTok for that. Specifically, I really enjoy the way AJ thinks. Like her thought process is so simple. There's a simplicity and a directness to it that I so appreciate. Um,
thank you.
Agree.
I mean, I just understand. Yeah, I understand. Like everybody has a little bit of something. Even Lovely, like she asked some awesome questions. I think I said that before. But I'm finding people with different perspectives, and I'm learning a lot, and I appreciate that. Um, you said something about healing, and I know the narrative right now is that you never truly heal. I think that speaks to the fact that we are living every single day, and the destination is death. So if you're meaning in that aspect, then yes, we never completely heal. However, I just don't want to get stuck in the thought process that if I have childhood trauma, it's going to take my whole entire life to heal from it. I do not subscribe to that one. I think that there are certain things that we can work on consistently for a while, and get over that and pick up something else. There are things that we can work on simultaneously, and maybe one is done before the other. But I absolutely just don't subscribe into the you're never completely healed sort of verbiage, right? But you guys already know that I don't like titles. I don't like definites.
Right.
um,
Right.
But
I don't like in
but
betweens. Like
you did
I
hit the
want a
nail on the
solution.
head there though, because a lot of
So
people.
how do we as a panel embrace, after you're doing your healing work, or you're in the process of healing, and we've dealt with all this divide, how do we embrace life and enjoy life and experience life in the way that we know innately that we deserve?
That's a
I
great
mean,
question. But AJ, what were you gonna say real quick on that?
yeah. Well, actually, they go together from
Okay,
Lovely
cool.
to what I was saying. So me and Lovely just be like, sometimes I swear thought process be in the same place. I love it. um, so to kind of address both of them, I mean, everybody has some form of trauma, right? We all know that
Mhm.
that's inevitable. But I take it in I've maneuvered my life, right? Like I've dealt with my fair shares of traumas. I'm not going to sit there and say I've dealt with more traumas or less traumas. I don't compare my life to nobody. However, I've never looked at my traumas as being something that defined me. What
Mhm.
defined me was my power, right?
Mhm.
I get to define me. So who hurt me, you know what I mean? Yeah, I may be hurt. I may be acting out on that, maybe taking that out on other people. But you got to learn every day, right? So yeah, even though I may be a person with traumas, I'm not defined by my traumas.
Right.
That's just where it's at. Like I'm just like, yeah, I have stuff I got to work on, but we got to continue to stop pushing the narrative of, oh, well, this person has trauma and now we're making an excuse, because it doesn't matter what somebody's trauma. You know what I mean? Like we cannot. That does not excuse bad behavior. I can't go over there and just start
That
punching people
part.
because I have trauma. I can't go out there and bleed all over everybody because I have trauma. Like at some point we have to take personal accountability for our own actions, and we can't blame stuff that happened 20 years ago. That happened
Well,
20 years.
Right.
it drives
Right.
you. It can either drive you in a bad direction, where you play the victim and everybody's already always hurt me, so I'm going to stay hurt. Or it can drive you to say, because I've been hurt, this is what I'm going to become.
Yeah, but the thing is that it only drives you if you allow it to drive you.
Exactly.
Right.
You can put
That
your
Exactly.
And I think that is the healing part, right? That is the part when you know that you healed from a thing, when it now drives you to not only um, challenge those sort of norms, right, that we fall into that make us subjective to those things again, um, and also drive us to look for other things that we can resolve and heal from. Because, like AJ said, it begins something else. It begins to be that something else that I carry with me. And that's heavy. Like the burden is heavy enough. Now to know that I can never heal from this, to me, that's a scary thought, you know? So like I say, all these titles, somebody says, oh, well, you suffer from depression, right?
Mhm.
And then you say, oh, okay, well, that's what that is. So you go on and you say, okay, I suffer from depression. And then someone says that, well, you've got all these childhood traumas because your mom and dad never loved you, right? And then you say, oh, you're right. So I have all these, like, you can just imagine, how a person feels, not even at the end of their journey, but starting out this journey with all this awareness, right? That, wow, I have all this stuff to carry with me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost already defeated, right? Um, if you don't suffer with depression, you definitely will then at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
But
and part of accountability is not dumping that onto somebody else.
well, and that's the thing. But I feel like those are two different things. Like healing and not taking that out on other people are still two different things. Because before I was ever in my healing journey, I couldn't blame my trauma as to why I lost a job. I couldn't blame my trauma on why I lost out on an opportunity. At the end of the day, that had everything to do with me, and I had to take accountability for that. Right?
Right. The me here
Yeah,
now, right?
we have
Not
to
my
get
childhood.
we have we have to get away from everything that's going wrong in my life is because of this. It can't be all because of this. You know what I mean? Like you have to take accountability and be self-aware into figuring out how you're playing in to certain things. And sometimes, I do preach about this a lot, changing your mindset on stuff. Doing these I was doing these things way before I started healing from my trauma. Before I was at that point. I didn't really start healing and going through my healing journey until 2020. You see what I'm saying? So
Well,
I
when do you know
Right.
when you're healing, and when do you know when you're in trauma? Like you have to recognize where you're at.
I think that's a pivotal point for all of us, AJ.
That's true. That's true. I guess like for me, how I knew that I was healing or starting that journey was when I was really, instead of shelving it, right? Because I feel like that's what I would do. I would deal with a traumatic situation, I shelve it and throw it on a shelf, and I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna pretend it didn't happen. I'm gonna keep it moving.
Were you
And
questioning
Hmm.
yourself?
I was fighting my own instincts, and a lot of other things. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna stick with distraction.
Yeah, I don't have time.
Distraction. I'm gonna dive myself so far in.
Hmm.
I'm gonna be that workaholic. I'm gonna do all these unhealthy things. What's up, Kev?
Oh no, I was pointing at the topic.
Oh, I thought you.
Empress asked what
I
you
thought
thought.
he was raising his hand
Nah,
to say something.
oh nah.
But no, like you know what I mean. Like I had to learn that I didn't. When I started going through that healing journey, was like, okay, now I have to unpack these boxes.
Shane,
Right? I
the
need to
comment.
unpack these boxes. I
Go
need to
ahead.
sit there.
Sorry,
Oh, go ahead.
I didn't realize cutting you off. She said, maybe it's healing when you recognize your womb. I feel like that's what AJ's talking about.
Yeah, that is exactly what I'm talking about. You can
Well, what
recognize a
you
wound.
say, AJ, too, though, is that we talk about healing, but learning too is a constant, just like healing is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's always going to be constant. You're never going to go through life without dealing with life, right? Life is always going to be throwing stuff at you, whether you like it or you don't like it. Like, basically, the way I think about it is tomorrow's already made up its mind, right? Just like today's made up its mind, yesterday made up its mind, tomorrow's going to make up its mind. I don't get to choose whether the only thing that I get to choose is, or what I can control is me in every situation,
Yep.
right? I can't control
Hmm.
any right now. At the end of the day, it's the same thing. I anymore don't believe that I have bad days. I have a bad 15 minutes that I milked for the entire fucking day. That's the difference.
Bad moment.
You know, I
And that's a choice, though. Of it all boils back down to choice of, am I going to carry this with me, or am I going to let it flee?
yeah, exactly, and
It's
that's
not
where.
easy though. That's one
But
thing.
that's where I always push it, where
It's not.
you got to have some sort of like, I know everybody's always grasping for control and they want to control so many situations, but sometimes you got to understand the only thing that you can control is you. You can't control other people. You can't control your boss. You
Mhm.
can't control the economy. We can't control the weather. Okay, I would much rather it be sunny all the time, never have to deal with snow, and it just be perfect weather. Perfect, but I don't get to control that. I don't. The only thing I can control is me and how I move through those situations. That's it.
Well,
That's
Yep.
because a
it.
lot of times, if you can't control something, and you go into a circumstance or an experience that you're like, okay, I'm questioning this because you can't control it, are you going in there with fear? Fear and control are very
Well, they motivate each other.
exactly. Thank you, AJ.
Yeah, they motivate each other.
That's so
What's
true. And that's why I said when we're going in and out of these TikTok rooms, we have to remember that this was never meant to be a place of healing. TikTok was not a mental health app. So those of
Right.
us who want the best for people get really frustrated when we go and we hear stuff that should not be spoken to to a mass group. You know, we hear insensitivity, we hear all of these things, and we're fighting against that. But again, I always just try to remind us we can be the change one at a time within ourselves. So, to your question, Lovely, how do we, once we notice that there's some healing to be done, how do we get on these forums and make the change? Um, Knowing that we have our own stuff. Um, I think just the consistency of going through it and talking about it. That's why I'm always grateful for the conversation, because I just believe that no conversation is um, a waste of time. You know, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of things that are being said, but I think that the people who show up for something in that room will either get it um, or they won't. They'll have to get it from somewhere else. You know, so
Yep.
just having that thought makes it worth it to be here.
Well, I would say that we're here for a reason. All of us on this panel, or in these comments, or even on TikTok, the people that are still alive, we did something right to still be here. We did something right. We did something to get us to this aspect, to this point in our life. And
or
now what do you do with it? You know?
There you go. I was gonna say, or there's something right that we still have to do. You know?
That part.
Yeah.
That part. Like, I'm still here. I still got to keep moving. I can't just stay stagnant. If you
yeah,
stay stagnant, that's when you get sad.
well, exactly. But at the same time, like, even, just like Niche said, like, this is not an app. This isn't a healing app. Like, it's the internet at the end of the day.
We literally was talking about that last night, and I told
Exactly.
people, I
And like
said I recommend y'all not come on here if you can't handle it, because you can't check every last person that triggers you.
that
So
part.
I said if you can't handle it, don't
All
come to
right.
this app. And protection of yourself. That's what you got to add at the end to protect
Hmm.
yourself.
Well, and that's the thing.
Yep.
When it comes to triggers, right? Every single one of us has triggers. It's
Yeah.
not for the rest of the world to dance around your triggers. You gotta
Yeah.
have
Right.
shit. That's nobody.
Right. That's not nobody's responsibility but yours.
You know what I
You
mean?
got
Like,
to dance around your own triggers.
You must
Most
talk
people
like
don't
this to
even
me and stuff.
most people don't even know what our triggers are.
Oh, I was in a live like that one time, and they were like, "I just want to let you know you can't talk to me this way because I think he said something about he was autistic, and and people were like, okay, they're like, okay, we understand that, we get that, we won't interrupt you." And then he proceeded to interrupt people, and I was like, so how can you have a disclaimer because you're autistic and you're in a live arguing and you're interrupting people and people can't interrupt you? I'm like, that's kind of bullshit if you ask me, but okay. I didn't say anything. I was like, all right, it's not my space. I'm just listening. But I was like, you can't
I can
pull up and put a
see where you're
disclaimer on
coming
it.
from, Toddy, on that, because if you recognize something of other people, and then you tell them that they can't be that way, and you recognize it of yourself, how are you going to disclaim that? And that's a very odd situation. I'm glad
That's
I
like
wasn't in
me,
that life.
right? That's like me going to lives and being like, "Oh, I have MS. I have 6 lesions in my brain. Can you not use big words because I can't process them and I have to get off the app to Google it?"
Oh,
No, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm
Right.
gonna
At the
be
end of the day,
quiet,
we
get
accountable
off
for
the
our
app and
selections.
notate the
right.
word, and then I'm gonna come back and be like, I know now a new word. So, the world isn't built to adjust to everybody. Everybody's not meant to make you feel comfortable. And as far as healing is
Hmm.
very healing is very hard. And I don't think a lot of people really understand that until you really look at yourself in the mirror and tell
Oh yeah.
yourself, I am a problem. Because everybody on the world is a problem, except for
Mhm.
babies. Babies
Us.
aren't
Hmm.
problems.
Yeah.
Can,
But
can I have a question? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean
so I think,
go ahead.
oh, you're fine. So
No, no, you
I
were. I
know,
was just agreeing with what Toddy said. Yeah.
yeah, and I was really proud of myself. I realized I was healing because I don't react to things, especially when my child's father like goes off and saying like disrespectful shit. I will read his ass, but I read his ass appropriately.
Right.
Yeah.
There's
Um,
a place.
and I also tell him, I'm like, I'm not going to continue this cycle. It's a new year, and I will unblock you on Wednesday when you come at me correctly. And I was proud of myself. I was like, I could have kept going back and forth. I could have kept arguing. I could have got upset and frustrated and blacked out and shut up at his house and knocked on his door and be like, "You want to fight?" But I didn't do that. I placed a boundary. I grew, and I kept to it.
That
And
part.
I,
Proud of
and
you too.
I, yeah, and I acknowledged myself for that. I was
Good.
like, I did it. I did that, and that's going to help me with other situations. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to continue this argument. It's clear we don't see eye to eye, and I think a lot of people have to realize that on TikTok. You're not
Yep.
going to
Mhm.
see eye to eye to everyone in the room. You can be like, I
Right.
understand what you're saying. I hear your point. Your point may be valid to you. I, on the other hand, do not agree.
You did that for you, baby Toddy. You did that for you, not for that other person. And I
Right.
think that's what a lot of people have to, and we've talked about this before, tolerance level. It's like how much do you get to a point in your healing process or in your maneuvering through this life? Because I think it was niche that you said it at the end of the day. What is it? Death?
Yeah. That's where
Yep,
we're
that's
all
it.
headed.
Well,
Hey
Hey Empress.
everybody.
What's that
Hey,
deal?
Empress in the
Empress.
building. Do I
wait,
So
sound
you
like
know I
Yeah.
Empress?
came up for one specific reason. I'm only gonna speak for us last night. By the way, Kev, we did the damn thing. You held it
Oh yeah,
down,
most
baby. You
definitely.
sure
held it
did.
down.
That was you.
And
Quit it. Stop it.
I'm
Quit
so
it.
mad I
You know it
missed
was you.
it.
I
Y'all
literally
I'm
did
It
so
was
mad I
because
missed
good.
it.
I just said I
when
hated I
you
had
in
to
my
get off.
lives, you are always so supportive. You are always down there like, let's keep it moving. Open after FYP. I'm always support those that support me at its finest. If I'm a
Yeah, for
mod, then
sure.
I have to make sure I'm biased in all conversations and make sure that
Yeah.
if you're wrong, I gotta call it out. I'm gonna make sure every time a couple 30 to 40 minutes go past, let me reiterate for all the new people come in so that way everybody's respecting this host and this panel, and please be respectful in the comments.
I like it.
Right. Right.
I'm
So
Yeah.
I have to do
and that
that.
wasn't recorded. I'm so
Uh,
mad, and it was. Oh my goodness! I was gonna stay on that live, but I couldn't.
It
It
was
was my
just
birthday
certain
weekend. My husband had plans, so
the
I'm so glad you
conversation
guys
moved
had that
along for
beautiful moment,
hours.
Empress and
It
Kev.
was because the
That is so
conversation
awesome.
touched every diameter in a sense. We kind of touched on all
We
kind of
touched
things.
it
everything.
did.
Oh my.
I
It
mean,
did.
it,
Yeah.
it did get a little triggerish. Not for me
Yeah, we
because
had a
I've
couple
done a lot of
times.
healing for me, but it did affect a lot. And that's only because I don't think a lot of Kev's audience was expecting it to go there. So by all means that I just felt just a little part of me was like, let me address this situation. So because there's a lot of people, I don't want to tell them to go because they've been supporting him this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
As gifting him to tapping this screen, they had been supporting them this whole time. So I didn't want to tell them to leave because we're at a serious topic. There was
Mm.
quite a few that were taking it that they knew what they were saying was going to trigger, period. I addressed it. sometimes we do need to be careful of how we're using certain words because
Right.
it could fall in the
That
category of
part.
victim blaming. That was all
Mm-hmm.
I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't police tone anybody. It was more or less just be careful of the words you choosing because you could lead into that person making that person feel like it was their fault. We don't know if Kev have anybody in here who's listening to his life that's just keeping them alive. We
Oh,
don't know.
girl, you better preach.
We don't
Mhm.
know that. So let's not push that like that because we don't know who's really here
Mm-hmm.
because Kev's voice is just saving them from whatever they've been through. So it
That
was some words that shouldn't have been dropped that it just needed to be addressed.
I
Other than
wasn't
that, it
there.
was an awesome. It was awesome.
I
So
wasn't
I
there for
do
that
say if
moment.
it's triggering you mentally wise, that's affecting your health, please by all means hit this button at the top because I wouldn't want to be, nor anyone else would be responsible for what happens next.
Right.
So hit the button. But I realized before I let it go, I realized that a lot of those people was supporting Kevin. A lot of them have always been in here. But one got a little funny to try to check. Hold on, we ain't checking around here. Not on Empress Watch. We not checking. You
Mm-hmm.
might want to listen because that's not what he meant. You
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
got to listen before you
Exactly.
respond.
Exactly.
That part.
I
I
wasn't
mean, I was
here.
on a panel with Black Jesus, so for me, I did a damn good job because there was
Hey,
plenty
I was about
times
to
he
say
let
that's
some
why I
shit.
was
He
like,
let
man,
some
I'm
shit
like,
fall in his
wow, I
mouth. I
seen
wanted
the
to
I
whole
was
other
say,
in
side.
his
I'm like,
live
she doing it, try to
earlier.
listen to understand. I'm
I
learning
was in
more and
his
more
live
about that's
earlier.
great.
He has a
it was
Mm-hmm.
the fact that
following
this
that
is not my platform, so I won't come for you on here because this is his. But Don over there if you want to.
he has a following that come to be an adversary to his message. So when I came in and saw a peaceful conversation, I
Most
was
definitely.
already like, "Oh, this is wonderful."
Because
I
some
wasn't.
things he was saying was good and
Mm-hmm.
75% was harmful. But
Mm-hmm.
at least I want to say at least the 25 to 30% was good.
Could be
But
right.
be
And it's
truthful.
it's the could be part, right? It's falling on the wrong ears, right?
Yeah, and then in a
Yeah.
few was just like, just stuck with it. Like you ain't gonna see no other side. So I'm
Mhm.
not gonna open this can of worms because I can get us to 1,000 right now. We'll
Right.
have 1,000 people up in here if I just go in on you. And we
Yeah.
don't need all of that. We doing good. So I'm
Some
gonna go ahead and give you a
statements.
pass today.
Yeah.
Some
Mhm.
statements with
Everybody get affected
support.
every other way. Everybody respond a different way though too. So everybody ain't for everybody.
Some
Cause
statements right
some people it
now.
might be the opposite. It
It's
might have
not that
been
everybody is for
75
everybody.
and
It's just
25.
make sure if you're gonna address one thing, make sure you address it as a whole. Stop segregating it. Address it as a whole because it's
Some
it's both parties that fuck up. So address it as a whole. We
yeah.
just that's all that needs to be done. Don't bash one and stick to it. So I had to kind of let him know just a little bit. Is address it as a whole. Don't separate it. Address it as a whole because it's a problem on both sides.
And I
And
think that
please get over to Pookie and Ray Ray. We are not in New
right.
Jack City. Please go and let that shit
Sometimes
go.
when we go in these other spaces and we know we have to be defensive, we take that with us everywhere we go. And I think sometimes some of these creators
Get
some
it
of these
together over there, Kev.
creators will get stuck in that defensive mode and you have to remind them that you are in a different room. So having an overseer like yourself, Empress, is always a great thing. Someone who can be unbiased and see the whole entire room like we can from in the comments. So a lot of times when you guys see me in lives, I come up just to say that, like, hey, you guys are saying the same thing and I know you don't know that, but we can tell it from the comments. you know, that
That
kind of
part.
stuff. I wasn't
It's
in.
because I seen it getting ready to where everybody was gonna start saying, let me go ahead and just jump in here as a mod. We go one at a time.
Right. I
We not
wasn't
finna
in
talk over
here.
because everybody can't hear if we all talking over each other. So be an
Mm-hmm.
adult, don't be a child. If
Right.
it's not your turn, stop talking over people. Allow that person to finish. When they done, you gonna know because they ain't saying nothing else. They might go mute. Then you can jump in and chime in if they're directing something to you.
Right.
Oh yeah, I heard you last night, Empress, when you said that. I was like, I don't know why y'all keep playing these games when it comes to rules. Follow the rules.
Because usually there is
Well,
no
definitely letting it know when you come in Kev's live. I'm gonna be in here. You might want to
right,
follow the rules, cause
right,
I will snatch you out the box in your mid conversation.
hmm and it's necessary sometimes. But I came up today just to say, if Kev needed a mod, I wouldn't mind being a mod. I'm not a mod on anybody's page. Y'all know I'm new to TikTok, but
You
I've
a mod
invited.
on my page. You're definitely a mod on my page.
Am I? I didn't know
No.
that.
Hey, Toddy. Or is that who is talking? Niche or
Uh
Toddy?
huh. Me, niche.
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 Oh,
Hold on.
Niche.
I don't know.
I've been a mod on this forever, and I still was like, oh, how do I just want to maneuver right, you know?
Yeah, you know, it's a job, and it's important. It's important to these platforms.
It's
But listen,
very
this is what I want to say.
important.
Can I hit like? Can I like the? I came up here to ask this, y'all. I've been up here all this time to ask this. Can I hit like as a mob? As a mod, can I do the likes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you the only so when
I
you're
do
a
know
mod,
that.
you can the
Only
only thing
Kev has the right to take certain things from you. He could take you
yeah.
blocking and only put you at mute.
Mhm.
Just muting someone. He has the keys to take away certain things.
Okay.
But most of the time, I don't take them away because I trust my mods and
Mm-hmm.
the decisions they make. If you see somebody just being a devil's advocate, by all means, please remove them because we're not here for that. We're just
Right.
trying to
Right.
get down to the nitty gritty of it. You have
Right.
some people that are literally just being a devil's advocate or a troll.
Yes.
Going
Yeah.
for the now I do have a question as far as that goes though. Now if somebody's playing devil's advocate to get to the nitty gritty, I
That's a
think
little different, AJ, because see, with you,
but
we know where you're going with it. But you have some that
Right.
is there to be goddamn messy.
Thank you,
Just messy.
AJ.
Yeah.
And
Straight
that'll
and
come in, ain't
direct.
even read the room, and they in the box. And let me just play devil's advocate real quick. You ain't don't know what the topic is or what the conversation is about. Some
Right.
people come in mid in the conversation. You don't know it might have just went down yonder. You ain't getting the moral of where it all gonna tie back into the loop. So just read the room a little bit. Sit down there for a minute.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I had to say that in
Hmm.
someone's live in the comments. I was like, please don't come in and just
oh,
listen for 2 seconds and then make an outrageous comment.
I know I
Sit
had to
and
stop the
listen.
that too. I had to stop the live. I was like, please read the room. Thank you.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, take some time to process. You'll
Right.
be okay. We
Chris,
promise.
I am honored. I will be there when you go live.
That part.
Um, yeah, because I think the support is important. I like the way this page is growing. Kev,
It
Kev,
is
and Missy.
growing. And I didn't want people to view him off of his previous one where it was a lot of shouting and numbers was going up. So I was like, let
Mhm.
me jump in here a little bit and set the tone that this is not what he's seeking. He's
Right.
actually seeking a solution here. He's trying to
Mhm.
understand if things are triggering you. Are you moving off your emotions? Do you have a tolerance level? Relax.
Mm-hmm.
Relax.
Thank
Because he
you.
acted a fool the last live. And
I was
a lot
here.
of people were talking in the streets. And I was just like, that's not what he was saying. So let me go ahead and set the tone.
Oh,
That
okay.
way you don't bring your raggedy ass back in his life if you see him that and view him that way.
But
Right.
I feel like that's the way you grow in conversation though. Like sometimes like things are gonna get awkward, but that's how you grow. And it depends on how awkwardly you move through that. I'm not saying
She was saying around TikTok, people were talking about Kev's live, saying it was this or that. That
yeah.
wasn't true.
And if they were basically trying to make it seem like he was a toxic platform, you're gonna get nothing but BS. That's not true. I've been in his life as
Right.
long as I've been
Right.
on on TikTok.
Oh,
No way.
Right.
I'm not
my
gonna
Well,
let
and
this
that's what
get
I was
wrong.
saying earlier, Empress, is that sometimes we have to channel through the conflict in order to come through a solution. Because some people don't even know what the conflict is.
yeah, no, no. When I was talking about is I wasn't talking. I didn't know that that was happening. So I'm sorry that happened to you, Kev. That's fucked up.
Right.
I was just talking about like within
What happened
certain.
to me? I just
things.
got back.
I didn't know that people was running around saying that, but
That last live we had where we were going back and forth with the doctor from the office who was doing the sex education. People were running around talking about your live was toxic
Oh,
and saying that you had a point of view that you didn't have. And Empress said she was shutting them down and she came to support you for that reason. And AJ was saying she feels like that's sort of how steel sharpens steel. But I was telling her that was
mm-mm.
people in the street. It wasn't,
Yeah,
kept having a conversation, a back and forth that was profitable because that's what she was talking about. I think, right?
no, no, no.
right.
Okay, go ahead.
I wasn't referencing that because I was unaware of that. I was talking about the times where I've been in this lab where we've had conversations where things kind of feel a little bit awkward. That I
Hmm.
feel like
Hmm.
I've learned so much in that awkwardness.
Oh, I
From
see. Right.
that's what I was talking about. I don't know about what was going on the TikTok streets.
Yeah.
I tend personally to avoid like the drama. To be honest with you, like if it gets too problematic, I just dip. And that's just how I handle it because I can only control me in that situation. Well, with that,
Right.
Yeah, you came in later. You and Empress, and you guys were in the comments. I couldn't update you because I was in the box.
Oh, I
Yeah,
got you.
You talking about the
Y'all
eyes.
came
I was
in.
oh yeah.
throw the eyes like, what's going on here? I see.
Well,
And I never come
Hormiga, and Fairy
like that.
Tale, right?
Mm-hmm.
Never seen it get to that level. Kev
Hmm.
used to always be able to control his life.
No,
So
it
to come in and see
was
it at that highest, I'm just like, wait a minute, whoa, what is going
Yeah,
on here?
it wasn't. It
They
it
were
wasn't that.
was.
you
It was
had
just
people
one person we
disrespecting
was trying to
him,
get to understand something.
and others was disrespecting others, and it was just going a little bit far. I mean, I knew it was going far when I could look at the real, and that he's got his feathers up. It's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
yeah, because he
Empress,
was the one that
being a
he was the main one
moderator,
actually.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying he was the main one actually that was trying to just get we was trying to get
Stay on
over
point.
here to
Stay on
understand
target.
it wasn't how it was because she had just came in at the last minute. But you could just tell though, most of the time when people want to play that one role and not getting the whole thing, it's a trigger thing and they don't want
Well,
to
that's
admit it.
why
That's all it is.
I kept telling her that her work was important. It wasn't her work that we had a problem with. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She just didn't fit in the solution that we were trying
Yeah,
to get to.
exactly. Exactly.
And she could not understand that. She just kept saying, but it's
Right.
both sides. And when you teach both, we're past that part. We're past teaching
Yeah.
both,
It,
and we're getting down to the nitty gritty of a solution. And your service would not be part of that. But then it was
hmm
like, well, I'm a mother too. Yes, we get all of that. You know what I'm saying? Some people just can't see past themselves, and that is just their experience, and it's hard for them to see in that moment. And even when you convince them, sometimes it's hard for them to concede their argument. um so it's just unfortunate because that just went on way too long, way too long.
Then, then the next day was funny because the next day we was talking about both sides. Then somebody want to come with the one side. I'm like, dude, I think it was a dude that came with the. I'm like, dude, what is this?
Was
It's
I'm
like
trying to
nobody
think.
never stick to my topic that I'm talking about. They keep want
I'm
to
trying to
add their
think of
piece
his
in because they
name.
feelings be part of it. Huh?
Well, that's the
I was
thing.
trying
It's
to think of his
like
name.
we've addressed the hurt, we've addressed
Yeah.
the trauma, we've addressed all this stuff. So it's
hmm
like, man, how are we maneuvering forward? And
Right.
that's
We
why I
can
always
only
say,
work
why are
on
we
it piece
arguing
by piece.
over solutions? We cannot argue over solutions because maybe one person's solution is actually going to help in compliance with another person's solution. I mean, who knows?
Good
If
night.
it's a solution, isn't a solution a good thing?
Right.
Yeah, it definitely should be. The problem is we all have our own different ways that a solution
She
should
dropped.
go, but that's the purpose of the conversation. But
She
we
just
we're
dropped out of
supposed to
nowhere. All right.
we're supposed to come because we're open to the discussion. We should not come to dictate, the
Exactly. That's
discussion.
the big difference. Thank you.
Yeah,
That part.
because even the
That
host
part.
can't dictate. Even Empress is not trying to dictate. But for some reason, the people that come in these boxes are trying to dictate a certain
Uh,
narrative. You have a live button. You can go dictate your narrative on your
and
page.
and
I don't
it's
understand why
crazy
people
though,
do
cause
that.
that's why I
Absolutely.
appreciated you that night, cause you understood exactly what we was talking about. You wasn't putting your feelings in it. I mean, and then you even
Right.
said like you went through, you learned what you learned or whatever, but you ain't take it to a personal thing. You knew exactly what we was getting to, but like I said, you knew that we wasn't trying to just say it's one side and all that stuff. I'm like, that wasn't the point of the whole thing. But like I said, it's people that just ain't healed or that's not, you know what I'm saying, ain't take that time and they get triggered by one thing. If they hear one side only, they want to hear that other side at the same time. But I was like, at that time, we wasn't talking about both things. We were just talking about it in protection of one, one situation and stuff. But that's like, it's just hard to talk about that sometimes. That's when you see numbers jump up and all that, because that's just been the thing. This the
One thing
world we
I've
live in
noticed
now.
about you, Kev, one thing
Huh?
I've noticed about you, Kev, is that not only do you allow a space for let's discuss the conflict, let's come to solutions, but you've also given an amazing healing space to a lot of people who
Absolutely.
this app,
Yes.
some people, this app is all they have because maybe they're stuck in their own life, their own environment, but you actually have there's a multitude of aspects that you give. We're discussing conflict, we're discussing solutions, but you will sit there and listen to somebody's experiences because that may have given them that chance to heal through that moment. So I appreciate
Right.
you for that. And I think
I
not a
appreciate
lot
it.
of people have that power.
I mean, Kev is on his way to wanting to do his YouTube. So he's got to be able to learn here how to conduct it here in order to make it grow huger over there.
Oh yeah.
So sometimes Kev want the nitty gritty. He want the dirt underneath the dirt. And I feel like you get the dirt underneath the dirt, it's for to bring a whole lot of crap with trying to just get down to one significant piece. And
Most
it
Right.
could
definitely.
be affected. So
That's
it's like just kind of let it flow and it will eventually show itself.
Yeah.
If you dig too deep, then it causes controversy. So you kind of got to ride that wave and just let it flow until it just
Yeah.
hits the sand.
Yeah.
Because
I'm not me
it's
myself. I'm
moving a
not
lot
digging deep
faster
to
now than it has before for him. It's moving a lot faster, more coming in. He's getting more likes. It's opening the band. The FYP is opening up more. So he's going to have to change how he's conducting himself if he wants it to continue to grow and making sure that he's biased, which is hard. So I mean, it was just like Black Jesus saying, "You want to mod? Excuse me, sir. I ain't ready for that just yet. We gonna just dial it down a notch because I ain't ready to mod and hear some of this rhetoric that fall out your mouth. It's gonna be hard for me to just strictly stick to modding. I get
Mm-hmm.
it. You say
right.
you
It's gonna be
truly
work.
appreciate how I do it, the way I do it. I just may not be ready for yours right now. Let me just hang with Kev for a second so I can build a little more tougher skin to take what you be letting fall out your mouth, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Because I could possibly jump on the opposite side and I'm a mod and I'll snatch your own people out here that's backing you up off of some BS. So
Oh, I've been
let me just
snatched out
hang
of
with
other
Kev
people's
right now with
lives,
the
and
few
I'm
that
like,
I do
wait a
mod
minute.
for. My
alter
skin gonna need to
ego in
be
the
a little
building,
more, a
friend.
little bit more
What's
tougher
up?
for you. Just let it get a little more tougher when it comes to me modding for you, sir. Because that's going to be a little difficult. I don't know if I can, remain biased in some of his topics.
Right. I think you again we all are learning whether we know it or not. If you stay, you're gonna learn something. So even, some of our more TikTok famous, right, creators are learning something, every day. So just to hear that he appreciated that experience was really good. I always like the lives, and I have to say that I've seen them in here where people are, upset, they address the issue, they apologize. Like that be the part for me, just coming back to that, right? And just saying, you know what, I misspoke. Oh, you know what, you are right. That kind of stuff. When you
That's
can
the
get that,
greatest part.
and that
That's the
happens in
greatest
here
part.
a lot in here.
Just knowing you learned something of how
Yeah,
you could still say what you need to say, but you can always just address it as a whole. Because then you're alleviating so many punches and you're gaining all the followers versus none.
yeah,
So if you address it as a whole, then you're going to have to agree to disagree, but they're more than likely still willing to follow you because they feel like, okay, you can still see both sides. You're still having a topic about both sides. You're not pointing the finger at one or the other. So if you just join it together, you're going to gain more followers. You're going to gain more appreciative. It's okay. He's talking about it, but he's addressing both. I'm following him because I like the fact that he addresses both versus separated. And I wanted that for Kev because I know where he's going
Well,
with it.
and Kev, like what we were talking about last night, because I hopped up before that 14 hours that you guys all produced yourself in. I was on
No,
the
it
Lord.
was
live
14
earlier
for
and I was
him,
like, look, I
lovely.
just wanted to
right.
join the live.
It was 14 for him. It
Huh?
was only about 5 or 6 for me. Because if he'd have tried to push it any further, I'd have been like, "You on your own. Whatever go down in here, it's on you, brother. It's
Yeah, and
on
I was
you.
like,
I can't take it."
let me just jump in this live so
Exactly.
you can build your numbers up. But I had to jump back. I had to jump back down because I had plans. I have my own family. I have my own life, and we talked about ego, and we talked about, and I created this and I wrote this down, Kev. I don't know if you wrote it down in your journal. Emotionally
Mm.
generated opinions. People are emotionally generated off their opinions. And I literally fell asleep with that, like in my mind,
Mhm.
is like everybody's so driven off their ideas, so driven off their intellect or their creative ideas or whatever. And a lot of people are trying to express themselves, and we don't always know how to express ourselves because we've always been antagonized by somebody else against that. And I think Kev allows that spot for people to express that within themselves without being interrupted. But then when they're interrupted, we have moderators like Empress, or we have people who come in as like, wait a minute, this is actually a good idea. This is actually a good discussion, a good construct. Uh, I think what we're doing here is just exploring. We're exploring so that we can come to a resolution. And it's so
Yeah,
powerful. It's powerful. I'm
that's
proud of
my
you,
whole
Kevin. I
point.
hope you're proud of yourself for what you're doing too. Because not a lot of people have that capability to hold all that space, to hold all that energy.
That's what I say. It's like when I tell people you gotta work on yourself, that you gotta really do that though. I be trying not to get affected, and even like when I catch myself slipping, I still gonna try to correct that and all that stuff, just because I'm human, things happen. But that's what I'm about to say. Even with that, I know Empress saying about she said I dig if I was to dig deep on certain situations. Me myself, I know my intentions and all that stuff, and just like I was speaking on last night, is that I can't control everybody that come in the boxing or come in my live and stuff, because like I said, I could talk about positive stuff, negative stuff, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I could talk about the best of the best. And everybody gonna take it different. I mean, I can't cater to everybody's feelings because everybody's not on the same page and stuff. So I just gotta get my message across. I gotta figure out as much information, you know what I'm saying, to find ways to get to solutions and stuff. I can't, because if a solution is affected, or a possible solution is affecting somebody because their feelings and all that stuff, because some people might just don't want to listen, don't like what it said, which is a big problem, which is the ego thing and all that stuff, and people don't like to take accountability and all that stuff. I mean, I can't just not speak on certain stuff because some people actually need to hear some of this stuff. And it's just it's like a what they like with a job or something. You take a risk or something like that, or it's just like sometimes you gotta take a risk to go uh to get further anywhere. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be scared. I can't be in fear. I can't work in fear or talk in fear and all that stuff. It's like I'm gonna have to do what I gotta do. I'll adjust when I can. You know what I'm saying? But I can't. It's impossible to adjust to every last person. You know what I'm saying? That's dang near impossible. There's no way you could talk like I could talk the best way I can, but it's not gonna satisfy every last
Right.
person.
Not
So
gonna
I mean
filter
that's
everybody.
yeah, it's just I do what I gotta do at the end of the day, and I know my intentions I know my intentions. I know I'm trying to get, I got good intentions behind what I'm trying to do and stuff. I don't got no hatred behind my stuff. I ain't talking off hurt and all that stuff. It don't seem like I don't play that blame stuff. Like I take both sides. Or if we talking about sides and stuff, anybody's side, I hold them accountable for. Just like y'all see, like sometimes I done took up. That's why what you call like what you taking up for, a white guy or something like that. I'm like, no, I'll take up for what I feel is wrong. If I feel somebody's wrong, and I know I wouldn't want a white guy treating you the same way, I would do that on both ends. If I feel like if either side is in, I don't care about your skin color or nothing. If y'all feel like you mistreating somebody, or you trying to start some stuff and make
Right.
something out of what it ain't, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna speak on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. Like I said, I don't pick no sides though. Like, but if we got to talk about a side at a certain a particular time, then I gotta do what I gotta do just to get that part out. But I know I'm not, like I said, I'm not hurt. I'm not none of that stuff to just talk about just one side and one solution, or feel like I gotta stick with one situation because they're my friend or they got the skin color and all that same skin color and all that stuff. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I think in fairness. I try to be fair with everybody. That's the whole journey of trying to
Get
make
it.
unity. But some people just want to stick with what they know in their feelings and stuff. But I can't adjust to everybody's feelings, like I was saying. I can't do that. That's impossible. Like I said, that's why I tell people, like, well, I'm gonna stick with that for what I said last night. Sure, hey, you can't handle it, you gotta go. You hit the X button. You can't, or today you might not be able to come in my room today or something like that until we get another topic. But I gotta get these topics out, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Even if I gotta talk about one side, that's not the only thing I talk about. You know what I'm saying? I talk about many stuff. But if you only hear one side and pick that and make it seem or label me from the one time I talk about one side, or pick if I want to talk about black people one day or white people, you know what I'm saying? Then it is what it is. Like if you don't see what I'm trying to do, you was never a real or supporter anyways. You just like you will get triggered off the one thing I spoke on because you can't handle that day and then label me as that whole thing. So that means you really wasn't down because you only like the stuff I was telling you that you like to hear that day. And it ain't about telling you what you like to hear. I'm trying to find solutions in all ways. Like I said, it takes a quick little if you got to get your feelings hurt to make a better future from misery and all that stuff, I would take getting my feelings hurt. If you got to say something about me and it feel like it's something I got to adjust, okay, I'll be in my feelings that day. My thing is I want to listen and try to understand what somebody is saying and all that stuff. If you got something you got to say about me, let me figure it out and let me try to work on it and all that stuff. Maybe I got an attitude problem. Maybe I got maybe it's something that I probably got. Maybe I'm ego. Somebody got to tell me about that. I'm gonna take the time. I'm gonna ask them why you say that. Then I'm gonna try to think on it, try to correct it. You know what I'm saying? So I can't, like I said, I'm not about to get in my feelings if I know somebody's who's what their true intentions is. Because we like a lot of times, a lot of people miss that whole entire message because they would take out that one section that they was talking about that day and they couldn't handle it and then label that whole person like that's all you talk about. And you mad though? That sounds like a you problem because you're not really listening to what the person is talking about and all that stuff. They did the same thing. Like they could do the same thing. They did the same thing to the Kevin Samuels dude and all that stuff and all that until I took the time myself because I'm like, ain't no way this dude sitting here just bashing women and stuff. I used to watch this dude for hours. I started watching. I'm like, this dude is not like that. I'm saying he trying to just bring black families together and stuff. It's just I guess it was certain people that was coming in the box and they take clips out of it and made it seem like he was always bashing them and all that stuff. But it was like him. It was a reaction to how the chick was talking to him and all that stuff. Or some of the days he might be, it was back and forth. But that like them people like that, you just gotta. And I was recommending for everybody because everybody don't ain't right or fit with everybody. I would recommend that you take the me to spit out the moan, whatever can better your life and what they talking about. You know what I'm saying? Just go with that or work with that. Apply that to your life. But everything is not going to apply to you or work for you that because somebody's speaking on you. You can't expect somebody to be having a perfect day and fit everything that you like that feeds your emotions and you can't or coddle your stuff and all that stuff. You gotta be able to fit with it all and take it all. That's what it is. So that's what I'll try to work on myself. So yeah.
I can agree to everything you said to a certain extent. There's certain things that I feel I had to educate myself on first before I have the topic, so I can be prepared for both sides,
Yeah.
to the agreeer to the disagreeer.
Mm,
But if you don't know the whole thing about it, then you're gonna start getting into your feelings, and then everything else is going to fly left because you
that
don't
part.
understand the whole thing. So,
Yep.
just for me, I feel you delegate yourself in all these situations. Only one that I would say educates itself more on would be essay and grade.
Most definitely.
That would
Most
be the only
definitely.
topic that I would say definitely do your research so you can understand both sides. As far as me watching you in the time that I've been here and that I've been since I've been on here, I feel you delegate yourself in all of these oppositions and you see both sides, and that's what I appreciate the most. It just would be that one particular topic, just from my viewings from last night. It's something you need to educate yourself a little more on.
And as the journey goes, it's gonna be more and more stuff. But I can only, what I'm saying,
That topic
uh,
is a major topic. You're
yeah, I'm
gonna
pretty
most
sure it's
definitely
that. But
want to
if
Wait,
make
I
sure
got
what
you
if a
topic was
person
what
that?
got
they
Because I
questions,
wasn't there.
when
if
you're
I got
talking
questions,
about
I'm gonna ask
essay
questions.
and
Look,
great, you have to be educated. So
yeah,
when you shoot that breeze on and you being the host, you're going to understand
Hmm.
from both oppositions, you're going to
yeah,
understand from both
Okay.
sides.
Yeah.
So you got to
yeah. I
kind
feel
of
you on that.
educate yourself there to be able to
Yeah,
say I can have
but
this conversation and I'm going to understand where this person's come from, and I'm also going to understand where this person is coming from. So now
yeah,
that we both are here, let's come down to the nitty gritty of a solution.
yeah. So
But you
that's
got to
that's the whole
understand it
point of
first so you can be able to deliver that solution.
it. That's the whole point of asking questions to get educated about it, though. Like I don't think it's possible you can limit the way you ask different questions about different things. Cause like I can be like, why, what I'm saying? Like I said, at the end of the day, it's the intentions behind it. I can't expect, cause me myself, like I always say this. Oh, okay. My thing is like I'm gonna go back to okay. I wouldn't even recommend if a person is an essay thing or essay victim or whatever they say it is or whatever. I wouldn't even recommend if they can't take a person asking a question about that situation. I wouldn't even recommend them even getting even if it's you saying that it's a very very touchy topic. That's like that go back again. Like just because somebody asks a
It's a
question, you
touchy
gotta you gotta
topic for
realize that you
some.
gotta ask their
It's
intentions
for
behind
some.
it. Huh?
you gotta realize this for some. So you got to be able to be educated to understand why some can't handle it. To take the
And that's the point of
question,
asking the
and
question
then
is
you're
to get
understanding why
educated.
this
Yeah.
opposite. Well, if you
No,
educate
sometimes,
yourself, then
Kev.
you have the answers already.
Yes, sometimes, Kev, you have to educate yourself offline. You have to show up with the education, and that's one of them.
I don't,
Because
but I'm
it's
not
very,
educated. That's why I
very.
Right.
ask about it. How I'm gonna know something? That's the point of me asking questions to get educated about it. So I don't understand. Like asking
And
questions is
sometimes
not
we
trying to
as
get
people
educated.
have to educate ourselves first. We
Kev,
got to go and get our
I don't.
educate and our knowledge and education on it first before we can
Yeah,
have
that's
the
why you ask.
discussion. Because then you're
but
going to learn even more. Because just because you went and read up some things and you heard a few people, now
I,
you're going to open the spectrum from hearing from as a
yeah, I never
whole,
read up on it.
and you're going to learn even more.
I never
You're going
read
to
up on it.
understand.
I actually go with the flow. If somebody
I don't.
talk about something, then I ask a question about it. It's not. That's the point of me asking the question to get educated about it. I ain't like it's something a topic I talk about all the time. If somebody bring it up, I'm gonna talk about it. If they talk about why stuff is racist, I'm gonna ask some questions about that. It's no harm to asking questions. It's just the harm to the person that can't take a question being asked. That means it's something that they gotta face within themselves. Cause it's not.
Kev,
It's if I ain't got no bad intentions about asking a certain question, I don't got. I just want to know. I'm trying to understand. I never
Kev,
knew that you can get somebody can get offended off a question.
we understand
We
that
just
because
talked about this in
I
another
maybe
live
maybe
hold
you
about.
on.
misunderstood what I was saying. So
We
That's the
understand
point.
maybe
that.
niche
No, I
can
didn't. You
deliver
said get
differently.
educated about it, and that's the point of me asking a question to get educated about it.
Hold on, hold on. We understand that because we know you. But you have to understand that what you're running is a public platform and you are considered the host, the leader, right? You are coming
Right.
up with a topic. Two things. That particular topic is one that people have to be taught to bring to a forum. Okay? That's not something that you can just sit and talk about on a public forum. It is so strategic
Then
and
why
so
do they talk about it then?
hold on. It is so strategic and sensitive that you actually supposed to go somewhere and be taught how to bring about a proper discussion on those topics because they're so sensitive. Here's the thing again,
They
TikTok is
really
not a
don't. They
place.
really, Kev. I'm sorry, Niche. I don't mean to cut you off. They really don't come here for that topic. A lot of
Yeah,
them
but
go to
me
That's the
those
myself,
thing.
I don't
areas.
even talk
They
about that
go to
subject until
those,
it get brought
no,
up.
they go to those mental health platforms where they
Exactly.
are heard and be able to be. It just so happened on your platform, even though you don't talk about it, it just so happened it came up. So
Right,
it was
yes, it
more
came
right,
up, and
complicated for
I
you. I'm
right.
asked
not
about it
saying. I'm just saying
exactly.
if you two to ever decide to put it into play, you would want to
I
educate
would never
first.
talk about that. That's nothing I wouldn't talk
Kev,
about that. I talk about stuff,
I
I
just
don't
was
even
saying
talk about
merely in the
traumas or
future, Kev.
anything.
I was just saying
the,
merely in the future. That's all I was saying since it came
In
up
the future,
last,
like
in
I
the
feel
wee
like
hours
somebody
of the
trying to
morning.
limit my questions. If somebody come up and
I,
talk about a certain
oh,
thing, then I'm gonna ask them a question about it. I don't understand. I don't understand. It's not like I look forward. I'm saying if somebody like whatever they got a bad marriage or something, I'm gonna ask them questions about like, well, how did they go? Why is that like that or something like that? It's obvious that they want somebody to talk to something. They want somebody to talk about it because they put it out on the internet, like you said. They put it out there. So if somebody talk about it, how is that a crime? You know what I'm saying?
Well, that
Don't bring it
Kev,
up on the internet and then don't like the way somebody asks you a question and then make it seem like it's their problem because they didn't answer or they asking you a question about it.
well,
Kev,
like what I mentioned
what we're saying,
earlier,
you
though,
missing
Kev,
what I'm
you
saying.
have built a platform. You have built a platform that discusses conflict, discusses resolutions, and you've also been a healing space. So you're in a multitude. You're doing something that not a lot of people know how to do.
Kev, what I'm saying is this. You keep making relation to a topic of marriage and a topic of this or that. You're right. We ask questions to get an understanding and we want to know so we can have the conversation. And most of the time, that's perfectly fine. What we're saying is that that particular topic, those topics, right, are not topics that you can do that with safely. Number one, because TikTok is a space that doesn't like those words. Number one, and number two, because of the
And why they talk
sensitivity,
about it then?
hold on, because of the sensitivity of the content, right? You have a lot of people triggered from different angles. Now, what Empress is saying is that you never pick it as a topic. We understand that, but as long as you're talking about relationships between men and women, it's gonna come up every now and then. So you have to be prepared for that. So your education on that piece would be in preparation for it to come up, not that you're going to structure your live around talking about it, right? Because that is for professionals. And remember that TikTok is not a place of professionals. Everybody's a novice with a live button. So people who come on this platform and mention it may want to get help, but they're in the wrong place, right? We can all pick up something,
Isn't that their
right?
fault?
But it's not about fault. It's about you protecting your platform. So if you don't feel comfortable, then you have every right to close it out. But you
Do
just
you
have to
really think?
be.
Okay, I'm gonna put it this way. Do
You
you
do,
think
Kev. You have every right
TikTok
to say,
gonna
you
block
know
me for
what?
asking a question? You think
I'm
they gonna
not
do
going to
that?
hold this topic because
It's
I'm not
not a question.
educated on this topic, and I'm not going to have this
Me
discussion.
neither, though. But don't
No,
bring
I'm
it up in
saying
my
that
room, and then
what
when
I'm
I ask a question, to make it seem like it's a problem. That's what my whole point is. You can't tell me what. You can't tell me to not ask a question when you the one that brung it up. That's what I'm saying. Like that don't make sense. How you
I
gonna
speak
bring
on the
something
topic.
up
I'm
and then
gonna
I
tell you
ask
why
you
I
a
speak
question
on the
about it?
topic, Kev. I speak on the topic because one, I was a victim. Two, I educated myself there. I'm not gonna
Okay.
come and I'm not gonna say certain things that I've learned that I have to delegate my words because I've learned. I don't want to put a person back to in this victim mindset. I'm trying to grow you from it. So I don't want to say things that possibly trigger you. So when women do come in certain places, I'd be like, hey, this is not the place, but you can go here and you're going to get all the tools and that necessary avenues you need on this particular platform. There's a licensed person over here. There's a therapist over there. They're giving it out for free because a lot of these women come on here because there is nowhere to turn. So they come on here looking for solutions. So this platform you particularly hold is not for them. There's no licensed therapist here. There is no advocates here. There is that. So I direct them elsewhere where they can get the proper help. Even on my platform, I don't have that there. So I send them where they need to go. Because at that time, that's not the topic that's going on in my life. And we're
So
not going to open
you
that
said that's
discussion
your job?
because I'm
Is
not going
that
to
your job?
willingly. I'm an advocate. I'm most definitely an
I'll
advocate.
say, is
But
that your
I'm not
job to
willingly
send
going to
them to
say,
somewhere else?
my job is to get you to the right place because
That
I want you
how's
to
that your
make it
job when if you have a
because
whole
I
topic?
take
Say
it
if you talking
upon
about something.
myself, Kev, to take that responsibility. It's my job to get you to the right avenue. So you're not out here hurting people and you're not hurting yourself. So I'm going to take the liberty of getting you to the right direction because not everybody is built to be in certain platforms.
You have to
Some
understand
things are sensitive. So I don't want someone else to attack someone in there because they're not understanding it. They haven't been educated. So let me get you out of here and get you to the right place,
and
so
often
that
enough,
you can hold that
I'm not doing
discussion
all that,
and you're
man.
not triggered. You don't have to. You don't have
that's
to.
what we're
You
But
saying.
it's not
feel
my
you
job because
feel
you
like
came in
you don't
my
have that job.
space.
It's not your job because you won't understand it. You haven't been educated. So it's
On
like don't have the
anything.
topic
If I
on your
talk about
platform.
if I
That's
talk
it.
about if
You
I
don't
talk
have to have the
about
topic. We're
all
not talking about SA or grape. That's not happening on my platform. If you feel you want to have that discussion, you have to navigate the you got
exactly,
to
I don't
navigate
talk
the
about that.
streets.
I
And
don't
navigate
talk
the
about it
streets and
either.
you just shut
But
it
if
off. That's
somebody
all I was saying, Kev.
I
I'm
don't
not
talk
saying that you
about
don't
that though.
have
That's
nothing
my
to
thing.
speak
That's
on.
why
I'm
I be
just
mean about somebody picking one thing I say out of the thing and then make it seem like my whole life is about it. If my whole life, if some people read my room is about looking for solutions and trying to unite and you know what I'm saying, and I ask many questions if they know me. I ask questions on everything. Nobody about to limit my questions when I have no bad intentions behind it. You can't tell me all of a sudden like, and especially when it's brought up, I don't use it as a I don't even, that's not even nothing I even talk about. But if somebody, if they bring it up to my face, like I said 100 times, they bring it to my face, and then I ask them a question about what they brought to my face. How is that my job just because somebody feel a certain way? If that person in the box say something about it, I can't I can't guide everybody at the bottom of the thing and tell them that I'm about to talk about this now, so I think y'all need to leave or something like that. I can't do that because I gotta ask the person that was just talking about it a question up there. I ask some questions. You know, if you want to bring it up, I'm gonna ask a question about it. If you're talking about a car, I'm gonna ask you a question about a car or something like that. It's no limits to asking questions. It's the problem is the people that's not fully recovered with that question and stuff. It's not me. That's what I'm saying. That'd be hard. Say if it's thousands of people in here, I gotta stop my whole life and stuff to appease everybody else. I don't know how many people will keep coming in here or not. That's too much. That's too much hard work. I'm not gonna. The thing is, I've learned that I will not ever satisfy every last person, so I can talk to whoever can resonate about whatever. You know what I'm saying? I do know like certain okay, that I don't talk about it that much, but even the other thing, the LG, I can't talk about them either that much. I don't even try to talk about that because I know how they get. But if it's an LGBT person come in the thing and ask a certain question, I'm gonna ask a certain question about it. It's up to them if they get triggered or something about it. I got questions if they bring the topic up. That's all.
Is why
I
I
can't
made the
control
statement.
everything.
If it's gonna, as I said, as a whole, as a collective, if anyone is in here that is going to affect you mentally, go ahead and exit. If you're strong enough to be here and you are at that space in your life to handle this conversation and take these questions, then by all means. But I'm gonna always be sensitive to that subject. I'm not gonna say I'm appeasing anyone. I'm going to take that person's feelings into consideration. I'm not going to hold a space that you are going to be triggered. So I'm going to always say, as a host, as my host, me running my I'm taking into consideration. It's my platform. I have to do my due diligence there. It's not about appeasing. It's not about making sure I say the right questions or asking the right questions. It's my job as me running my platform is to say, hey, if this is going to affect your mental health, by all means, please hit the X. I'm not going to lose no love. I'll see you on another day. That's all I was saying. You taking
Yeah,
it
we
more further
different
than
though,
what
so
it
yeah, I mean it is
needs
what
to
it is. Of
go.
course we different, so that's one thing everybody
Because
gonna
when you
learn.
ask
Everybody
Kev
different.
questions, Kev, you're going because you don't understand. So you're trying to get the details. That means that person's got to
Exactly.
go relive it. You don't know if that person's ready. So it's just better not to touch it
We,
because you haven't educated yourself, because you could go and learn that on your own. You don't need a bunch of people to answer those questions. It's all on the web.
I, whatever. All right. Yeah.
I think you're just misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not telling you not to ask questions, Kev. It's just a
I
certain
feel
way
you.
you
I
move when it
understand.
comes,
Like I said,
when it
I'm
comes
not
to the
gonna talk. I
questions.
don't. I don't want to talk
But
about
by
it
all
anyway. I
means, I'm
never
not telling
did
you to
want to talk
please
about it. I
anybody.
don't. I try to dodge that anyways.
Well, that's what
I
I'm saying.
agree.
Most
I
of the
can't.
time,
I
the people who bringing it up are not the people that's going to be triggered by it. And just being aware of that. That's why I said it's totally your choice to close out the conversation.
I just didn't want people to see you differently because you weren't educated there. So I felt I just needed to say,
I'm not
hey,
educated in
if you're
nothing though. That's what I'm saying. That's the point of me asking questions.
well, I
So
would
I'm
hope
trying
you
to
educating
understand
yourself
people.
on stuff without just people's views. I would hope.
Well, you said what?
I would hope you educating yourself without all of the TikTok world and people. I would hope you go and look up things for yourself too.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to learn everything. I just ask when it's presented to me. That's what I'm saying. I don't look up everything. That'd be too much to do. There's some stuff I'm just not interested in looking in sometimes, or something. I mean, it's so much stuff I can learn in this world. I just ask as it come. You know what I'm saying? I just figure out. At the situation. I mean, like I said, everybody brain work different. Everybody thought process work different. We can't expect everybody to think the
I
same way
just
we
strongly
think
suggest when
and
it
all that
comes
stuff.
to that you would want to educate yourself there, because I'm sure later on down the line you are going to have children. You want to be able to know the things to deliver to your children. So that's just
I
what I'm
don't
trying
get
to make
where
sure
that's.
you do
I'm
want to
trying to.
have that,
I feel you though, but how do I get
because you can't
educated
control
without
people
asking
on
a
the
question?
outside.
How do you get educated without asking questions?
Because you can go and learn what you need to learn and then ask questions, because then you're going to get
Uh,
the opposite side of how did this work, how does this work, how did that move. But you
You
want to
that's
educate
not my
yourself
interest though.
first.
I don't look up that subject. That's what I'm saying. But I said when I don't get how this not getting when it's presented to me. That's when I ask a question. That's what I'm saying. Why would I? That's nothing I look up into. I don't get this. So why all of a sudden, as soon as I don't know, whatever.
Well, because you
I
have to
don't know
be
if
aware that
I'm getting
every
I'm
misunderstood
saying
right
time.
now.
that
I
you would
guess.
want to get this knowledge because eventually one day you will have children. You're going to want to have this knowledge. You want to go and look up the things in details. Then you can
Right, and
ask
that's why I talk
questions.
to a person
But
that
you
experienced it.
but you asking the wrong questions when you ask it to a person that's
How do
experienced it.
how do
You
I
got
ask
to
the wrong question?
take it like this. If there's anything you want to know right now, you can ask me, because nothing's going to trigger me. But there you can't ask someone who's possibly could be triggered by it. You never know
Listen
who's in your
without
room.
feelings. What you mean? Whatever. All right.
You just never know who's in your room. Because there's a lot of
Like I
me's
said,
out
I'm
there that are not triggered by the conversation by all means, because I've healed. I don't live in a victim mindset, but you still have a
Well,
lot
I
there,
don't.
or don't even know who's there. So you could have. I mean, it's only
Yeah,
a
I don't
small,
know if you
nine
if
people in
you
here. So
ever
if there's
noticed.
anything you want to know there, you could ask me right now. It's only 9 people in here, and I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
give
don't
you
know if you
everything
ever
you
noticed.
need. Because one day
I
you
don't.
will have children.
Yeah, okay. I'm just saying I don't know if you ever noticed about my live. I'm not a my live has never been a coddler type live and stuff. I can't. The thing is, even when
I
I
don't
find somebody
understand
else
why this
that get
word
into their
coddler
feelings
even
about a certain
exists.
thing, I usually boot them because I ain't got time to explain myself why I ask certain questions and all that stuff. Like I said, my stuff is solution based, and I have my questions and stuff. Like I said, I can't sit there. I try the best I can or whatever, but I can't sit here and limit. Like I know I try my best to word stuff the best way I can and all that stuff. I can't. Man, I don't know. I feel like I'm just
Because
talking over
sometimes you
again.
gotta listen
But
to delegate your questions. That's
you
all I
said
was saying.
what?
Sometimes
Listen
you
to.
have to
That's the
listen
point. That's what
first
I
to
do.
delegate
That's
the
what I do.
question. Because then you're gonna know how
And
to
then my
navigate.
man's he jumping in late. He don't even know the whole full story, which is another problem. Like I say, everybody keep talking about stuff they don't even know. They talk about stuff, then come half in this thing and swear somebody in their face. I'm not nowhere in the field. I'm just trying to get understood right now. But I mean, so I know I understand that it do be some situations, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is. So I'd rather just leave it alone. Like I said, I don't talk about that subject a lot. And I ain't about to keep on getting pressed about that situation when I don't even talk about it.
Kev, nobody's pressing you.
You just got to keep in mind anytime you're talking about the
I'm not even here
dynamics.
to press you or
I ain't
anything.
gotta keep
I'm
nothing in
just
mind. That's what I'm saying. I ain't gotta keep nothing in mind
Let me
because I'm
finish,
not here to
Kev.
please everybody.
No,
That's
no,
what I'm
no.
saying.
Listen,
I know what
every
I'm doing.
time
I know
you,
my mission.
no, I'm
I
saying
ain't gotta keep nothing in mind.
every time you talk about the dynamics between a man and a woman or relationships, it's going to surface. That's all I was saying. You have to be prepared for that. You cannot stop that
Yeah,
subject from surfacing, right? So you just have
it
to
is
ask
what it is.
yourself what you're willing to talk about and what you're not.
that's all
That's
I
all
was
I'm
saying.
saying.
Hey, okay. Yeah,
Because
yes.
it's going
I've
to
been doing
surface.
this
I
all
can
this
see.
time. I've been doing it all this time, so I'm
Sometimes,
pretty
Kev,
sure
you
I know
gotta
that.
you gotta get out of your emotions. Sometimes you let your emotions run a little more rampant
How am I? How
because
am I?
you only seeing
Yeah, I
it
can
one
say it's working
sided.
both
You
ways
gotta
because when I'm
open your
explaining
mind up
myself,
to
it's
the
going the
whole
same
different
way. It's like we
spectrum.
doing the same exact thing. So we can't just blame one end and say somebody's in their emotions. It's obvious
I'm
that
not
somebody's in their emotions why they're talking about the way what I'm saying? It's obvious somebody in their emotions when they talk about the way I talk and all that stuff. So how would I be the one that's in my emotions
I'm not
when I'm
speaking
I'm
as if
getting
I'm
checked?
not speaking on that specific topic. I'm as of right now. You didn't got upset, and I was just
I'm
merely
not
giving
upset.
advice. It's your choice to either take it or not. If you choose to stay the way you are, that's fine with me too. I just was giving
Yeah,
you
because I
something,
don't
giving
think
you
nothing
some
I do.
gems.
I
Because
don't think that what I did was wrong.
if you don't go educate yourself here, then you're gonna possibly could cause your kids to be hurt. So you want to educate yourself here because predators move on a daily basis. They
Right.
come in
And you're
every color, every shape. Family
mm-hmm.
members, outside friends, cousins, people you've been hanging with for 10 and 20 years. So you want to know the signs and the things that you need to look for. That's all I was
Exactly. And that's
saying.
why I ask questions.
Well,
That is
But you
here's
exactly
can
why I
my
go do
ask
here
that on
and
the
questions.
that's
web, or if you
exactly
don't ask the question, you might
That's
want to
why I
listen
ask
first so
questions.
you can ask the correct question because you might ask the wrong
I
question at the
never
trigger
knew
and
it
you
was
not
a
get what you
certain
need.
way you got to ask a question.
well, I
I
think
never
the
knew that.
challenge I think
I
the
guess for
challenge
you, you
is
feel
that
it's coddling. You
we
feel it's
cannot
coddling.
control, and I just put
No,
this
I
in the
said me
comments.
myself. I don't sit here and try to filter because I know that I don't have bad intentions about whatever
Yeah,
questions I
because
ask. It's up to that person if they
I
take it
know
as a
that,
bad
Kev.
intention.
We in
It's up
this
to
yeah,
that
Empress
box
person.
know
knows
That's
that.
not
that.
I
me.
mean, others
We
know
can't
that. We in
control
this
other
box
we can't
knows.
control other
That's my whole
people's
point. Like
triggers.
people not understanding that I can't control how others
Nobody's
feel and all
saying
that
that
stuff.
someone
I'm
has
not
to
about to sit
control
here and
anybody's
say I got
feelings,
to
lovey.
educate myself.
That's not what
Huh?
I'm saying. I'm not saying that somebody's feelings is to be controlled. I never said that Kev had to control someone else's feelings. I
No,
never
no,
said
no,
that,
no,
lovey. I
the truth.
never said
No,
that.
I know you
All
didn't.
I
I know
said
you
was
didn't.
is being
I think we're trying to
taking the time to
recognize
have
other
the
people's
time within you
triggers.
to know how to deliver that question that where no one's being triggered because questions can be delivered without a trigger. It's in all how you're delivering yourself, how you're delegating yourself. You ain't gonna get the
I
knowledge
got
if you deliver it the wrong way. You're more than likely to
you. I
have
got.
somebody to run away, and now
I,
you don't
I,
got nothing.
yeah, I feel you
Kev,
though, but
are
like I
you
said, that was my first time
My,
ever talking about that.
I
I'm
don't
not
know
about to
how that
sit
I
here and
was
get
telling
checked
people to
about one
be
thing I
concerned
done
about someone
brought up.
else's feelings.
Kev, are you willing to
I
have this
can't.
conversation off of a public forum? Because I just don't think that it's fair to have this conversation on a public forum.
I don't.
True.
When do
True.
I talk about this?
I'm not saying
Do
that
I
you
ever
do
talk
talk
about this
about it.
any other time?
I'm talking about this conversation
It's
right here.
No, I don't talk about it till it get brought up. I don't get what nobody understanding right now. That's crazy. It's like they. So it's like.
I did understand, Kev. I did understand. I never
When
even
have
Kev,
I
seen you
talked about that subject? That's
are
what I
you
want to know.
I
willing,
Somebody asked me that
never
question.
have seen you talk about the subject.
Kev,
I'm
are you
woman and
Right.
grown
willing
enough to
to
say that. But sometimes when you have that male and female conversation, somehow it just trickles in. I was only
Okay,
just saying
thank you.
is shut it down if you don't like having that topic. That's all I was saying. I'm not gonna have this topic. I don't need nobody in here doing this and that. This is not
I
what
don't
my
care about. That's what I'm saying. I don't care
you're
if I gotta ask.
redirecting
If I
the
gotta ask the
Can
you're
questions.
redirecting your
can I ask a
topic. I
question?
just said redirect your topic. We're not gonna you're moving the goalposts. We ain't going here. We talking about man and woman. We didn't ask to go here. Bring them
Well,
back. Because that's what I did last night.
I thought what
He
we
didn't
were
have this is
talking
not his
about
topic, so bring it
was
back to what he's originally talking about. Don't go
I
down
thought
yonder when he didn't ask for you to go down
Lovely, hold
yonder.
on,
Read the
because
I
topic.
thought what we were talking about was how people are triggered when they come into different lives. And sometimes Kev's topic isn't about that. And if they're triggered,
Then I
how
strongly
do you
suggest
respond?
that person, as I said, Lovey, hit the X if it's affecting your mental health. Because he can't
Mm-hmm.
control what anybody says on his
Right.
platform when it comes to that.
So
So what
that's
I
why I'm
did
getting
last night
confused. That
was
it's
is
like
I'm
you
gonna do
saying
him
that.
one better. I'm gonna do him a solid. Go back to the topic so we're not here. Because this doesn't he doesn't deserve to catch this heat because someone else wanted
Mm-hmm.
to take this topic somewhere else. So
which is
hit
Right.
why
the
I
X
said,
if it's messing with your mental, because he's not
yeah,
gonna mind you not being here at this moment in time. He appreciates
Mm-hmm.
your support, but you can't handle this conversation. I'd much rather you protect yourself than trying to be here to be get your feelings hurt. And I redirected his conversation back to what his original topic was. Let's get back to where we are. We're not going here because he didn't ask to
So
go here. He didn't put it
so
out
let's
there.
let's we.
That's
I'm gonna
all I
read.
was saying. I wasn't
I'm gonna
saying that
read.
he was
Say
to
what happened over
protect
again
somebody
yesterday.
else's
Then.
feelings because that's that person's job to protect their triggers. If something triggered you, by all means hit the X. I'm not going to change what
So
I'm talking about. I just have to let you know is you got to hit the X. I don't mean no harm. This
so
is just not the place you
so
need to be at this time. Come back on
I'm gonna
another day.
re-say
Because
how
what
it
we
happened
talking
over again yesterday. Right. It started off. All I asked the question was, you said we said how you can. I asked how can you get a high body count off of trauma because I didn't understand it. I don't get how that's a wrong question. Okay,
No, you didn't open it up,
somehow
Kev.
somebody
You didn't
slipped
open
in
that up.
it's
essay
not a
in
wrong
there, and I'm
question.
like, how is
No,
that even
Kev didn't
possible? That's
open
what I asked.
it.
So I don't get how that's a wrong question. How
Kev
can
did
you?
not
How else
open.
can I reword that?
Kev, I'm telling you, you didn't open that conversation. I answered your question. You didn't open that topic. So did. You didn't open that question. You didn't even nowhere near touch that
I
post.
no, actually
She
Reese did.
opened
She
that.
was talking. She brung up. No, Reese did. She was talking
Reese
about because
attacked
she the one that was saying about
for what
trauma, and then
said. She
no,
attacked
she brung up
for what
SA after that.
said.
After I was talking about trauma.
Can we have a phone conversation?
Oh, he needed.
I just think it would be better had over a phone conversation because this is really not a platform conversation. It's a personal conversation between friends. I don't know if you're willing to do that, Kev, but if not, I'm just
Wait.
going to
Oh,
suggest that you drop the subject. I'll drop
yeah.
off the
Okay.
line.
I, all right.
No harm. You haven't done anything wrong. I'm just saying that to continue to have this conversation, I think is
I
more
don't feel he done
damaging than it
nothing
is
wrong. He's
helpful.
I
entitled to
just
his feelings.
I feel you on that, but I'm just saying for future reference, I'm not about to sit here and keep it trying to adjust to everybody. Like I said, I'm gonna try to, if I can, I'm gonna try to avoid talking about that since you know what I'm saying. Even though I wasn't the one that brought it up, but
Right.
I don't know. I guess I don't
No,
know
I
what to
by
say,
all
but
means, I'm here to say it. And
I don't
anybody
know.
in here that was in here in this live, he did not bring it up. I did not
Right.
like that one came to address him and saying something he said because that's not how it was meant. I addressed that as well. I'm not going to, by any means, let someone else come out here and throw dirt on his name because you just got in your feelings.
Right.
First things first is if anything is triggering you, please leave for your own health, for your own sake. This topic isn't for you. It's triggering you. Think about you first because you come first
Yeah.
before anyone. I didn't feel he said anything that was incorrect. He did not start the conversation. I just redirected after it was a little small little fight. I just redirected it because it was going to go somewhere that it didn't need to go.
Right. It
So
wasn't
it's like
profitable to the conversation.
let's just get back to the topic that was at hand.
Yeah. And I wasn't
That
there,
young
to be
Izzy
clear.
started, then he dipped on us after he started the conversation. I just wanted everybody to get back there versus we on something that's not even a topic right now. It's not even up for discussion. He don't have it written up there. He doesn't have none of these things. So it's not a subject that we need to be discussing.
Right.
Because if it goes, then y'all are going to all be out here talking bad about him of something he can control that fell out of anybody else's mouth. So do the biggest favor is protect you first and go ahead and leave.
And
I was
that
just
like
merely saying is that I would just like to see Kev educate himself for himself,
right.
because eventually one day he will find his wife, he will have children, and that's just something he will need. That's a tool that you got to have in your toolbox. That's all. That's all I was saying. I'm not here to attack you, blame you, shame you, nothing.
TikTok is tripping because I can't even make comments or anything in the live that's going on. But I just I really see where this conversation is going. Is it you have a platform that you're designated to, and you have a purpose, Kev, and it's like if you're going to ask questions and we're all going to ask questions, yeah, we can do that. But if somebody's going to be triggered, that's not on Kev, that's not on someone else. How you cut them off or how you decide to maneuver through it, I guess it's like producing a movie. That's what it feels like. It's like you're producing a movie because you have a purpose in implementing every all the details of what your purpose is. And I know we talked about that earlier. We're talking about conflict. We resolve it, or we talk about solutions, but then we also talk about healing. We talk about emotions and feelings and all this shit that comes into the mix of everything. But at the end of the day, it's like there is a strategy that is required within this. And if you're asking questions, even when it comes to essay, even when it comes to all that stuff, somebody should be allowed to do that because we're all trying to gain knowledge in that because all of our experiences have been different. So if somebody hasn't experienced it and is asking a question on it, is that not allowed, or is it allowed? What is allowed? What do we acknowledge? What do we allow? What do we what are we allowing into our space? But sometimes you're allowing things into your space so that you can gain knowledge. And that's why I appreciate you, Kev, is that you go that. And Empress, I'm glad that you're backing him up because I know that there may be an agreement to disagree or whatever, but this is what this is about.
I know, because me and Kev sometimes we do agree to disagree, but I also take what he says and I also chew on it too. It's vice versa. He
That
hears me.
part.
He's gonna chew on it as well. He's gonna make his own decisions because he's his own man. I'm not trying to change his
Exactly.
mind. I'm not
No, you're
telling
not.
people that they can't have certain conversations, and I'm just sensitive to people. I'm gonna always make sure that I also hold myself accountable. I'm not gonna say certain things that I'm not aware of. So I'm not gonna go in somebody else's life to debate something if I haven't educated myself on it.
Okay, I can't comment for some reason. TikTok is being weird, but storyteller. So we are really asking women who've been raped to include that in their body count? No, none of us
No,
have done that.
that
Crazy,
I
because
know
like I
none of
said,
us
I ain't got time to
have
keep
done that.
explaining stuff to people just
None
because
of
people
us.
come in late and not
Yeah,
actually
and they don't
knowing
even
stuff and
hear
guessing
the
stuff.
story.
So I said I ain't
Well,
got time to
and
be.
that's why we have moderators.
At the
No,
end of the day, look, let everybody
we
believe what
we
they gonna
don't even
believe, because I ain't got
talk
time
about.
to attend and try to make everybody. Is that what you? If that's what you believe, then that's what you believe. Then that's what you said or you heard. That's what you heard. You know what I'm saying. All
well,
I'm saying is
let me
learn
just
how to read the whole room before you catch the ending
let
part
me clear it
before you
up. By
speak
all
on
means,
anything. But
I
I
got
can't
no
tell that to
problem.
1,000 people that say the exact same thing. So if that's what you
That
want
is
to
We
believe, run
have
wild.
what you
no
gonna run
issues
with.
with answering that question. No, we're not saying that at all.
I said
That's not
nobody is
what we're
owed
saying
any
at all. I
understanding though.
would
That's what I'm
never
saying.
even let
Well,
that
I'm not
fall
about
out
to
of my
cater to
mouth.
every last person.
That doesn't
That
apply to
junk be
body count
annoying.
at all.
That junk is
Our
annoying.
here, like our goal in this live, and I don't know about your goal, Kev, but is I don't want to devalue another human being because of their experiences. This is the problem that we have. Everybody is competing against trauma. Everybody wants to
That's
compete
not what
against their
happened this morning.
experiences
That's
of
not what
pain.
happened this morning. Body
Oh,
count
I
was
don't
never
know what happened.
included. I'm
Oh,
answering Michael's question. That was never included in the conversation this morning.
My thing is, if you wasn't here this morning, don't speak on nothing you don't know. If y'all don't know if y'all just coming in this room and don't know, it's none of our job to ask everybody, answer everybody's questions and stuff. If you don't know, you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So run what you gonna run with and let it be, because it's not our job to sit here and explain ourselves every time because y'all don't know the full story on anything. I'm not about to, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm gonna start doing. That's what I'm learning tonight. I'm not about to keep on explaining myself to every last person in here because they have and listening to the story and all that stuff or whatever. If whatever you think you felt you ran with or heard, it is what it is. That's what you thought and felt. You know what I'm saying? If you never been in my live before and that's what you think that's what it is, then that it is what it is. And so, like I said, everybody got an option to either come in here or not. They can come, they can leave or whatever. If this what you think, this what you want to label somebody. If you want to label somebody something like, oh, dang, that's what y'all talk about, or you know what I'm saying, any of that stuff, that's how you feel, then leave. Like the thing is, nobody asks anybody. If you don't really know me or know my been in my life and all this stuff, and you come with this other stuff where you think that somebody's this, like 'cause a lot of people got that problem. They don't try to listen and try to figure and understand. Some people come in here already on defense and trying to figure like, dang, this how I go down or something like that. Like, no, if that's what you think, that's what it is. Nobody, like I said, I don't owe anybody understanding on anything. That's your choice, and you gonna feel how you feel about anything. Like I said, that's what I'm about to start drawing a line at, especially the more I keep growing on this thing. I'm gonna start drawing a line at because I can't cater to every last person that's in here. I'm not about to do that. Like I said, if your feelings get hurt at the moment because you don't know who I am, don't never know who I am. You ain't gotta come in here. You don't have to know who I am because I ain't got time to explain nothing. I ain't got time to explain nothing to no new person or not. That's crazy.
I think that's exactly what
Some people come
Empress
in here
was
just
trying to state, just within the whole process, because I wasn't on the live all last night, but I've been able to tap in to this conversation because I've known you or known your live for quite some time. And I've known Empress,
yeah, that's what I'm
you
saying. A
know,
lot of people don't really know me, and they do that to everybody. Same thing. I wouldn't even recommend like they would. The same people that do that to them, they wouldn't want that stuff done to them because you got to start to learn a person. That's what I'm saying. That's everybody. Like I was even talking about the Kevin Samuels and all that stuff. People don't take the time to learn and understand a person and see people's intentions. They just take off clips or come halfway in a subject and then be like, "You really talking about that? You really talking about that or something like that?" He's arguing with those.
I'm not sure what she
Wait,
means by that. He's arguing with those who are with him. Actually, no.
I
Nope.
don't know,
Empress,
man.
you may be able to speak on that because there is no arguing. There
Nobody
is
got to
no
speak on nothing. Like I said, people
Argue.
gonna choose to either
I understand why
figure
people
something out or not. We
because
like it's
merely just
crazy.
discussions for everyone to grow and elevate. They're merely discussions, as I just said.
right.
But
Right.
I heard what he said. He's gonna take the time to resonate with him. He's gonna leave the rest behind. Whatever sits with him is gonna stick with him. Whatever don't apply, he's gonna let it fly. I'm okay with that. I'm gonna do the same. I recommend everybody to do the same. Not
Mm-hmm.
don't apply to you. If it don't apply, let it fly. If it resonates with you, keep it. If it don't, leave the rest behind.
Exactly. And I think that all goes back into intentions
Thank you,
and the
Michael.
choice.
Thank you, Michael, because he done nothing malicious last night. He just asked a question, and that question went 1,000 miles and went way further than it needed to go. The goalpost was moved. I rejected and put it back where it needed to be, so we can continue moving on in the conversation. Did he get attacked for something he said? Absolutely. Did it get addressed? Yes, it did. And we brought it all the way back and dialed it down and continued in the right conversation and where we were going. Where'd Niche go? Kev, did Niche leave?
Yeah, I ain't never seen her come back. She had dropped or something. I ain't even see it. Let me see. Yeah, I don't see her in. I think she dropped her left or something like that. Like I said, I realized even in this process, it's like, and that's what, and I'm already aware of all this stuff. That's the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying, because it's gonna be time. It's gonna be people that, even if I know some people, it's gonna be times where it's gonna be some split ups. You know what I'm saying? You got to split up. It's gonna be split ups. It takes growth. You know what I'm saying? While growing, you gonna lose people in the process and all that stuff. I mean, that's just the way of life. Just like friends, you might have had start with a hundred friends or something like that. Then as the years go and as you grow, it's gonna drop down to probably 20 friends. The next minute it's gonna be 5 friends. You know what I'm saying? It's like people gonna split up because everybody don't be on the same page all the time. Everybody got their own intentions of why they hang with you. They got their reasons why and all that stuff. And if stuff don't resonate or it's something they can't deal with, it's like it gonna split apart. And that's just life. It's been like that. It's always been like that. Me myself, I'm fully aware of that. I'm fully aware that's how life is and all that stuff. People gonna paint that like it could be your best friend at one point, but it can switch around. And next minute y'all dang near enemies because they didn't agree or don't feel your way of thinking all that stuff. And that's what it is. Every human got their own way of thinking, and I'm aware of that. You know what I'm saying? I can take. That's why I give people chances. I try to be forgivable in certain situations. I grew to try to learn that and try to be observant in that and just and because I know I want forgiveness. That's why I try to forgive more people and all that stuff. I understand a lot of us mess up, a lot of us get in our feelings, we make crazy decisions and all that stuff. A lot of us might say something by mistake. We might have had bad intentions at one point, we might have switched it later down the line. Like a lot of that stuff, that's just life. It's just that's how it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I am fully aware that I might not as I grow, you know what I'm saying, I might not be with the same people I was with at the beginning. It's gonna split off and stuff because like I said, everybody got their reasons why they are with each other. That's that, you know what I'm saying, why they connect with this person or why they end up might disconnect with that person. That's flat out just life, you know what I'm saying? That's why I try to make no attachments for real. Like I say, I deal with what I can at that moment or deal with who I want, you know what I'm saying, who I can. Things happen, you know what I'm saying? Just life happens, you know. So they gon' if people like if people meant in your life, they gonna be meant. You know, if they not, they not. You can't like God gonna put at the end of the day, he gonna keep in your life who he gonna keep in your life. He gonna separate who he gonna separate in life. We can't keep questioning God and all that stuff. Why this happened and all this stuff? We can't do that, man, because it's a reason for everything. It's a reason.
Sheesh. I just have to say that for you and me. Sheesh.
Right.
You out,
Oh,
Michael.
good
Thank
looks,
you for
Michael,
spotting
man.
the
Thanks for that.
young Kev.
Good looks, my brother. Yeah, I'm aware that's a sensitive subject. I mean, I just been through so many lives. That's why I don't even talk about it. I don't even talk about it. It just somehow got brought up in the room, and then I had a question about it. So I don't. I tried my best. I still to this day, I'm gonna try my best not to talk about it. That's nothing I'm not gonna say. Can't say interested, but I'm just saying it's just something that I just don't want to even. I don't know. I just don't want to talk about because I know everybody can't handle it. It's like two things. It's a few things I just know I can't talk about or talk with people with. That's why I don't try to address nothing. I just ask questions. You know. Whew, I got 10 minutes, y'all, man. I'll probably be on tomorrow though. I got 10 minutes. I get me some sleep. I gotta work. Go to work.
I'm
Nah,
definitely gonna
I
get me
did.
some
I
sleepy.
did some
I
long.
mean, I got a little bit sleepy, but I think I need a little
Yeah.
bit more. But I have
Right.
to work on maintaining my household, so I just got me about an
Yeah.
hour and a half, and I was back at
Yeah.
it.
I think
And
I
I
did
blame it
what
all on
10
you.
hours.
I blame it
Huh?
all on you. I blame it all on you.
Yeah, I know. That's it, right. That's
I'm
what
just saying
the
we got to
loyal
70.
minds
We
be
got
doing. That's
75K though. We got the
huh?
75K last night though.
Yeah, right. That was my. That's why I was like, wow, that's another record too. I don't think that's my highest I got to.
and it was shared 110 times.
Oh my, I ain't even realized that. Dang, I didn't see
You
that.
got to pay attention. You got to pay attention, brother.
Right.
So definitely, I say keep having those productive conversations. I just say we just remove that one little detail out and keep it moving,
Yeah,
because it
I
it
feel
really,
you.
even though that little piece of a all of a 30 minutes, it could have been alleviated because the
Yeah,
conversation was productive either way.
yeah, I feel you.
It
I
was
feel
very
you. That's like I
productive.
said. That's something I learned though. I learned that
I
though.
mean, hey, I was able to learn to sit in a box with Young Black, so you know it was productive.
Yeah,
And I learned to,
I'm just
control
scared to,
my
cause like,
tolerance.
huh?
I learned my tolerance level. If I didn't agree with a
Yeah,
lot that he said, but I just like, I don't gotta, say tear your head off all the time. If you want to say it, by all means.
yeah. That's what I said. I can't realize that too. It's just like you just sometimes just let people talk and all that stuff,
It is my
especially if you don't
it's a
understand, or
sensitive
sometimes
subject,
it take time
so
to understand later.
I don't have that topic on my platform because it's
Right.
too much of a sensitive subject, and I'm fully aware of that. I'm smart enough to just know that I have visited a lot of platforms that is just dedicated to that only. So I send them that direction. You may get avenues from there. You may get a lot from there. Just this place, not everybody's educated, and he can't control what anybody else says. And
Right.
you can't expect him to do that when this is not the spot that you're supposed to be at.
Mm-hmm.
So because I know I can't control what everyone says, I gotta kind of send you to more of a safer space that's reared for just that specific topic. No, I'll check it. I'm finna check it, girl. I don't think I'm gonna make it 5 minutes. I'm finna eat and
18
take my
hours
shower
of
and go to
running.
bed. Shit.
This thing gonna take 18 hours? That's crazy. You say you about to what?
I am. I'm gonna go to bed. I mean, shit, you
Oh, you
was
say
on
you
there a
about to.
long time. I feel like that out of every live I've been here, that was by far right now top of the tier, the best of the best.
Oh, which tomorrow? Last night?
Yes, I definitely look forward to many
Yeah.
more just like it. If
Oh
not,
yeah, for sure, for sure. That was good. Hey, if you was there the night before that, I did 14 hours. Yeah, that was real good too. I getting lucky. I got two of them. That was real good. That was real good too. The day before that too, though. I
truthfully,
was just mad it
you're
didn't
right.
record it.
You're right. I
Huh?
could say one bad apple and two, so that outweighs it. Because that first one I came here, I had to throw my eyes. I don't never throw the
Oh,
eyes.
you talking about
Wait,
that other night?
whoa,
That
yeah. I
other
was like,
night
whoa,
with the
wait.
therapist. Yeah,
And I think,
that got wild. You jumped in and came out at the same time that night.
yeah, I
That
didn't.
was a wild
For
night.
me, I don't entertain drama. I can't do that. I don't have the tolerance
Mm-hmm.
level for it. So I just went on ahead and left because, for one, I didn't know the full comforts of the story. I wasn't here from the
Yeah.
beginning, so I can't
Yeah.
say, well, you wrong or you wrong or you wrong. And I don't move that way. And I wasn't in here long enough to really be trying to, request to come in the box. And not to mention,
Mm-hmm.
I was disciplining myself at that moment is to not be entering no boxes, just listening.
Yeah.
But that one could
That
have been that one could have
that
been steered correctly.
Yeah, low key that didn't make it because it was like we was trying to build an understanding with each other, and it seemed like it was getting there. Then it kept getting contradicted. Then it happened like 7 times when we thought it was gonna get there. Yeah, that got so bad, and I ain't gonna say it was bad to like everybody just about to blow up and all that stuff. Me myself, if I do get passionate or whatever, or get in, if you want to call it the feelings or something like that, I just talk loud. Nah, I got my stuff so controlled that I don't try to cuss at nobody or try to make somebody I don't try to insult people. I don't do that. That's the only thing. That's where I limit my stuff. I can't, my emotions is controlled in that way, but not in probably just when I'm passionate about certain stuff because it's certain stuff, whatever. But that's my difference. That's where way I control my stuff because otherwise I'd probably be calling people, I think, name and all that stuff if it was like that, be disrespectful. I don't think I ever been disrespectful to nobody, even when I got loud or something like that. But that
Not on
live,
your
when at the end of the
platform.
day, I had to,
Just only
huh?
one time I ever seen you do it. but it never been done on
Oh,
your
you talking
live.
about? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, 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 yeah. You already know, and that's
And
twice, and it
I ain't
happened to
even
be them
finna lie, and
same
me and her was in a
same
whole
group I
nother
cannot
class.
deal with.
She was somewhere else, Kev, about 2 weeks ago, and we just happened to be in the same room, and we both was in the box. And I'm telling you, I swear to God, I was 2 seconds from doing the same thing you did on my mama. Matter of fact, on my daddy, I was 2 seconds from giving her that same smoke. Cause you know what? Cause you really pissed me off right now because you really pushing
Right.
it here
Yep.
on the
But
same subject. As clearly as
oh
you see
my,
that I can't, if I couldn't keep up from the very first time, I'm not gonna be able to keep up now. It's gonna take for
yeah,
time for that to sit in and sink in. Or could it be just a part of me really just don't give a damn, Kev? I'm just being honest.
yeah, yeah.
I was actually going to
But
come back
at
in
the end
this
of the day,
live
look,
because I
even
got
when that
dropped.
happened,
Hold on,
hold on real
Kev.
quick. Hold on. Huh?
I can't make comments. I'm not
You
even
say you can't
allowed to
make comment.
make comments on it. Yeah. I can be in the live, but I can't make comments on it. That's the only reason I popped back
Yeah.
up.
See if you
Were
can
you
update.
suspended?
No, well, the other day when I was in Kev's live, I was suspended like for a minute, and then I went in and I was able to get back in. I could make comments. I can do everything, but today I
Kev, do
can't
you see on
even
your
like
end if she's muted from dropping you comments?
is what?
Uh,
I'm asking Kev to see if he can look and see if you're muted from making comments.
let me see.
Yeah, because I can't even make comments in the live.
Let me just mute you and then I'm gonna unmute you. Yeah. I ain't
Is it
want her to
just
drop. Why she drop?
is it kicking her out?
Nah, I don't think so. All I did
Well,
was
she
mute her and
gone.
then.
She not in here.
Oh, oops. I ain't know mute work like that. Oh shoot, almost canceled. Yeah, but I was saying at the end of that night, that was probably one of the nights I actually ended up having to hit that exit button. I booted with all them hundred and some people in there. I just booted. I like, man, that's when I knew I just couldn't take it because I'm like, all right, we not getting nowhere. This girl not trying to budge, not trying to understand. Everybody getting in their feelings and stuff. So I was like, I just ended up just ending that live because I seen people in the comments start going crazy and stuff. I'm like, nah, it's about that time. That's the first time I had to just end my live. Then I just restarted and got back on a little later that night. Yeah, it still don't work. Yep, it still don't work.
So it's still not working. Lovely. Have you
Still not
exit out
working.
completely? Have you exit completely out of the app and reset it and shut your phone down and then turn it back on?
That's what I was getting ready to do right now was shut my
You might
phone
have to
down again.
uninstall it too.
Yeah, I've done that before. Let me go do that and I'll tell you when I come back up.
Alright.
Ooh, I'm tired. Shoot, I can't wait to 9 o'clock on my end.
What you got? What, 30 minutes?
No,
I'm about to
it's
be up.
just 7:30. I got a little
Oh,
ways to go.
10. Oh, you got 10 minutes. 10 or 3 hours behind me. I was 10:30 here. I'm about to straight. About to
I have to be up for work tomorrow.
go right.
I didn't mind being up late because I knew I was gonna be able to kind of sleep, but these kids said, "No, ma'am,
Not today.
you still at work. You said it was
Not
game
today.
night. What do you mean?" Yeah, you're right. I can't sleep. Let's go get down what I said. I gotta keep to my word.
This thing on video, I just needed to chop down a couple minutes. I see I can download up to 12 hours. They can't go past that. That happened to be 12 hours and 5 seconds. Stop that junk being petty. Then they gonna let me download it and tell me that it can't be downloaded. I wasted all that time.
What,
Now I
last night's
gotta
video?
edit. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get
I
on
thought they said if you
YouTube.
surpass it, you wouldn't be able to get the live if you
Ooh,
go
say
past
it
the
again.
12 hours. I thought they said if you go past the 12 hours, you don't get to, you can't download the live.
Download it. Oh no, no. Nope. Nope.
Is it letting you do it?
Because I think I did 14 hours before that at solid that time. This was 12 and then plus 4, but that yesterday. But I did 14 hours. the day before that. Oh, actually, I can't say that because it actually. Oh, you said past 12 hours, right?
They said after 12 hours you're not able to download it.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know. I downloaded that, but I think 14. That's the one that didn't download. I was sick. It was talking about community guidelines. I'm like, wow. I gotta make sure this don't go to sleep. They talking about 18 hours for this thing to download.
Ooh, that's a long
Crazy.
time.
Alright.
That's a long time. Shit.
It's gonna download in my sleep. That's because I
I don't
clipped
want
it a
I don't
little
want
bit.
it that bad. I was already there, so I don't want to download it.
Oh no.
I ever reach that level, I'm not gonna download it. It's gonna take that long. Because I was there.
Yeah, right. This one, not on the laptop, it don't usually do, but it's this little platform that I'm just started using. It download the video fast. It downloaded fast off the app, but I'm transferring the video that's downloaded in my computer now, and now I gotta clip it. I try to clip it with another app, and that's what's taking all day to download. Some new stuff. Oh yeah, your stuff works. Say I'm back. No.
Yeah, so I could make comments. So let me see if I can make a comment while I'm live. Okay, good. Now I'm good.
Because
Did it?
sometimes you just gotta shut it down for a minute.
What'd you do?
Mm-hmm.
You said you made another comment. I don't see the other comment. Oh
Well,
no,
I
look.
did.
Okay,
I,
good.
I
That's I
did a
came late.
comment while I was only in the comments, and I did a comment
Yeah, I
while I
see
was
now.
in the live box. Yeah,
Yeah, I see.
because
Yeah, it
I
just
wasn't able
popped
to
up
make them
late.
while I was live.
I'm about to put this thing on.
Hey,
Thing
This
on.
app be this app creates its own chaos.
That it does.
You're right.
Everybody's confused on the algorithm. It's like, how can we come to some resolution when the app is like misconstruing us?
Yeah, I'm about to work
Did
heavy.
everyone take their shower?
So I don't go to clubs. Oh yeah, I did. I did, ma. I have stinky
I just feel like
buns.
there's a time and a place for that. If you ain't got it out while you was young, please don't be trying to do it while you old.
Uh,
For real. For real.
You didn't surpass that. Stop.
You know it's crazy? We got a lot of young people though, like under our age or even under Kev's age, that even comes into these apps and they spread some worth.
Yes, they do.
I never discount no one. I can't
yeah,
discount no one because I don't want no one to discount
yeah.
me.
Validate. That's what I was talking about. That was my subject yesterday. It actually went better than the one from. I don't know. Nah, that was about even. I had it both from the same subject. It actually went good. Yeah, about the it was
All of
man's
them. The
point of
last
view,
three
and then it
have been
was
great. Yeah, all
invalid.
three have been great. Just that first one kind of got derailed, but it was still great.
You said three. Yeah, three was. I mean, the first
They
one.
were
Yeah, the
all
first one
good. Just
before
the
those
first
two.
one
Yeah,
just
it
kind
was
of got a little
actually.
off
It was
topic.
good until that stuff happened. I had to actually leave, but it was actually good at the beginning before the stuff went chaos mode. Cause literally me and Hormiga and Fairy Tale, it was just us three really mainly in there, just singing and all type of stuff. It was all the show. I was showing them my videos and all that, and somehow we was talking about or she ended up bringing up something about abortion or something like that, and I was
So
like,
do you think this space is a healing space for you too, Kev?
most definitely. I mean, yeah, most definitely. Actually, like I said, this app itself has had it put work on me. Like when I even get, like I said, them little. I was about to. Oh, that's what I mentioned before. I was trying to mention that even when I get into it with people and all that stuff, it actually I learn from it. I take the time and breathe for the next day, learn from it, and then try to avoid, getting to it again or whatever. Because I could tell I've been getting better and learning from this stuff and trying to, like I said, I'm so focused on controlling emotions and all that stuff, especially to not get disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I have got to that point except for twice on this app and actually called somebody out their name and all that stuff. But I actually ran into that same group of people that I always usually don't get along with because they don't like when people ask questions and I ran into them recently, and it got so it was smooth at first. There's just this one girl. That's what I don't like though. It be some people that be just so one sided and let this person be so toxic, and as soon as you try to attack them, then it's a big problem after that. But uh, I let. I mean, no, I actually, she just was getting mad. I'm getting gaslighted and all this stuff or whatever. And I just, I was just like, man, I'm just asking questions. I'm like, why do y'all seem like y'all just talking about separation when we need unity and stuff. It's not about competition and who got the worst experience and all that stuff. I said, what is the point of this question? That's all I wanted to know. Like, what are we getting to with this? We understand everybody is different. And I was just asking more and more. I'm like, even you and your brothers got different experiences. So what's the point of comparing experience and stuff? Like, it's not a competition. I guess she just didn't like that and couldn't understand it. But it was just like, even the people that was trying to get to me was, it was people that was trying to back her up, and all this stuff was her bad behavior. All this stuff was like this, and then this one person who was like, "Yeah, you was something." I was like, I'm like, wow. But I noticed that it really didn't even affect me. I just was laughing. I actually turned it to laughing now. I just laugh now. Like when people be disrespecting me and stuff, it just made me think like, nah, I don't get that mad now. That's why I know I'm growing in it a little bit because I just laugh like, nah, you really got that mad? You mad at me like that and trying to call me on my name? And I just like, these people just hurt. That's why I was just looking at like people be hurt. Wow. And all I did was
That's
ask a
why I
question.
said
What's up with
you
y'all?
you hold a space that allows
What's the
for
deal,
a
Coochie?
multitude of shit. Like what
Yeah. That's
you
what I
you
said. I
took
put
on
in
a
the work
battle,
to work
Kev.
on myself. That's why I don't be having really no patience for everybody else that don't want it because they choose not to put in that work on themselves and want to stay in misery all their life. That's why I don't have patience for that stuff. Cause I did it. I mean, it's not impossible. You know what I'm saying? It take longer than others. I'm 32 now. It actually took me actually just a year, you know what I'm saying, of focusing and actually be willing and wanting to change and all that stuff. I took the time to do that. It's just people that don't be wanting to do it and they want to be coddled all their life and think I'm supposed to dance around they situations. I'm like, I ain't got the patience for that stuff. Like I took the time, then you can do the same thing. You human just like me. All of us been through something. It might have been worse, but how long you gonna take that worse? How long you gonna drag that the rest of your life, man? When you gonna move forward? We can't
People
keep
want a
using
pity
that
party,
same
bro.
excuse 30, 40, 50, 60 years. You know what I'm saying? We can't keep using the same thing. Like, when you going to grow from that? It happened, it happened.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? When we going to
right.
grow from it? We can't be living the rest of our life in it. It's like, you something that you should have been here with. I'm not saying that it can be too quick or too whatever, but sometimes it's called too long, too. Like, you want to stay the rest of your life until you almost in your grave still using this same trauma or using this same incidents you done been through to run your life. Like that's a whole life of misery because you never trying to take the time to really figure a way to avoid it and look into it and find a way to not get triggered by it no more. Like
But
my thing, like I
that's
say,
because
everybody
people
can
ain't
put in
growing,
that
bro.
work. You just gotta put that work in. That's all it is. Everybody keep making excuses
Hmm.
for why they didn't do it. I'm done with the excuses. I realize that life ain't about, and all of us can do whatever we want. You know what I'm saying? We could choose to be set in these type of ways. All of us have that choice. We are all human.
I just don't want to be. You can't help nobody that don't want to be helped, man. Like
Exactly.
a lot of
Hmm.
people, when you grow, you think solutional, right? Because you kind
Yeah.
of like, okay, I'm not gonna sit here. I'm not gonna keep crying about it. I'm not gonna stay in this place. What can I do, right? The
Yep.
solution was also something like a logical thought process, right? But some
Yep.
people cannot think with logic. They only think with emotions,
Mm.
which is
Emotions.
why
Yeah.
some people call protecting a peace. And I'm not saying it's not protecting a peace, but the way they go about it is very like harsh and it's rude. It's coming off like, okay, this, that, and the third. A lot of people just don't want to heal, bro, and they be saying they healing. Oh, I heal.
Yeah.
I'm not. It's no such thing as a like being healed. Is a thing is healing and continuing to grow as a person. Most
Mm-hmm.
people that get on apps via Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, whatever app they get on, right? They promote. I tell people this, and I don't care. I get into heated debates about this all the time. What you put into the world says a lot about you. People be like, well, no, social media is social media. No, because if you laughed at a joke and it was a negative joke, that says a lot about you. Like
Yeah.
you kind of like stand for that. And I get it. Like a lot of people want to run to that saying like social media is social media. No, bro, you wouldn't put something, you wouldn't post something, promote something if you didn't stand by it. So when it's the like, you know, baby daddy or baby
Mm-hmm.
mama jokes, like bro, if you posting that, bro, you stand by that. And
Yep.
that's a negative thing. So how
If
is
you
you?
If you think about it too, Shay, like we look at our indoctrination, our education system, everything. Social media indoctrinates you too. It indoctrinates your emotions. Like you can feel a certain type of way based on social media. It's a whole nother
Yeah.
form of a language.
No, and I believe that's true. That's why I feel like a lot of people gotta sometimes, like, if you, I know I have requirements, but I mean I don't have requirements. I have expectations for myself when I'm dating somebody, bro. But if you got a requirement to date, bro, that's just saying that you scared and you not really ready to jump in this with pure intent. Like I jump in a relationship and I'm with pure intent. I'm not really expecting you to do nothing. You do anything. I have expectations in myself though. I got expectations in what I need to do. I got expectations of the way I need to carry myself. Once I get in a relationship, yeah, I might not be sitting here responding back to DMs. I don't care. It's not me trying to be rude. It's just me having respect for my relationship because
Hmm.
it's a saying. If somebody in a relationship is talking and giving you that energy and that attention, even to tell you no, come on, bro. Sometimes you just don't gotta say nothing.
And I've mentioned this multiple times in Kev's lives, is people will put expectations upon you that they can't even meet themselves. So are your expectations upon yourself similar, or are they in disregard to the other person's expectations? You expectations are to me they're temporary
Yeah, but you can
because
have an
you can meet
expectations in
that
yourself
person's
and make it permanent.
expectation.
Like you
You
could wake
could,
up tomorrow and say, I expect for me to be
yeah,
a certain way, right? Like I could have that expectation for myself. I can't have that expectation for other people, right?
Hmm.
exactly.
I'm only responsible for me. Another situation that I hate to hear, but it be true. When people group signs and say, "Well, I'll never date that sign again," bro, you had one bad experience with one person, and now you
For
just think that
real.
everybody bad. Like you got to take some ownership. And a relationship ending, sometimes it is a two-way street, and sometimes it's you subconsciously don't know it. You subconsciously don't know it. Was you not affectionate? Was you not giving attention? What was you doing? Because if you was doing your job and then the relationship just ended because that person wasn't like, you know, ready to be on your level, then that's what it is. But then some people don't know that not giving a relationship attention, not being affectionate, not sitting
Hmm.
here communicating, that can cause a person to like not continue to work on that relationship, which could cause a relationship to end. It's a two-way street.
Well,
Hmm.
and that's what calls you to tell yourself, I ain't carrying all the feelings and emotions that came from that last relationship into the next experience that I have.
I think people just need to really work on healing and stop falling into what the world is. A lot of the time we do it.
World is powerful. Yes. Yes.
A lot of time we do it. But it's power and stuff that you put into your ears. It's power just how it's like it's the certain.
Yeah, because you can channel your energy just like you can channel your energy into pain or trauma or feel like you're just going to be lost your whole life. You can channel that same thing into love and compassion and kindness because you understood the other side.
And sometimes you don't even have to go to the argument of the fight. Some
Right.
people just be ready to be. They fuel off of you getting mad. They fuel off of other people's anger. So what you could do is just remove yourself. It's so easy. Hey, look, I'm not interested, and I'm not about to sit here and give you that energy. I'm gonna just like leave it alone. My friends hate that I come with solutions. Why do you want me to sit here? I don't want to sit here with the pity party. I don't.
Me,
Exactly. Feel me.
I don't
me
want to sit
either.
here. Like I had a homegirl right now. Like this morning, she was like, "I don't feel good." I said, "All right, hey, look, check this out. I'm gonna send you some money, get you some Theraflu, whatever the case may be." Oh, I don't feel good. I feel like I gotta throw up. I said, "Well, go throw up. Maybe you'll feel better." I don't feel like doing all of that. I'm like, bro, what do you want, bro? You just, you just want to be in a pity party now, and I don't want to sit here. I done
Man,
gave you
that's
like
what it
three
be.
solutions to do stuff,
That's
and you
what
want to
it
sit
be,
there.
man. That's
And
what
some
it
people
be.
do want to just sit in the pity party. Oh, I'm never gonna
Hmm.
love no one again. I can't trust any. Well, dog, you sit there. I'm about to go find love because I'm not sitting with you.
So is
I'm
it
not
Hey,
sitting
sympathy?
with you.
you on
But
the same
but what
tip
do
I
you
be
do
on.
too,
That's
Shay?
crazy.
Touche or Kev, what do you do when you feel you're in a place where you actually as men need help or need
Find a solution.
okay.
I'm gonna be honest
I
with you.
tell you,
The
man.
reason why I started finding solutions to situations is because I heard this story, and there's about two people who fell in the hole. One guy sat back there and cried, begged, waited for somebody to help him. The other dude the whole time was calm and found a way up out that hole. I'm
You know,
not sitting
I
here.
quoted the song
I need you in
of
my life sometime some more, man, dog. You be
man,
on
guys,
point.
you do
You got
touche.
the same way I be thinking, man.
Man,
I actually
if I
used
don't
the
be
song, the Scarface song, The Wall. You don't have to climb the wall, you gotta break the motherfucker down.
yeah, but
It's
that's the
like
Mm-mm.
thing that
that's
people
the
don't want to
solution.
do. Some people just like I said, some people just want to sit there and cry. But I look
They
at
just
life
want to
like a
look at
horror
the
movie
wall.
too. I'm not
But
sitting here
sometimes you can
crying,
cry
waiting for my
first and
end.
then move forward.
I know
You
I
gotta
don't even
let
want to.
that feeling go. You gotta let the shit go
Oh yeah, I'll be
somehow.
over it once I realize I can't change it. If we
Right, right,
was
Right.
right.
if we was in a horror movie, right, and we was in a house and somebody is crying, and we done already came up with a plan to get up out of here. If you want to sit here and cry, you can sit here. I'm leaving. I'm out this window. I'm going whatever way I need to go because I'm not gonna a solution. Like solutions brings a result, right? And a lot of the time, nobody wants really to follow their line. Like I'm not telling nobody in 2023 to break up their relationship. Why? Because guess what? If you want to be there, you're gonna be there. And if you want to leave, you're gonna leave. Enough pain
Right.
or enough like frustration will cause you to move, right? It's another
Mm-hmm.
thing too in life. If you do not take the steps to progress away from something that you obviously know is not working, God or the higher being or whatever y'all may call him, Buddha, whatever y'all may visualize him as, is going to remove it from you forcefully. And if he removes it
Right.
from you forcefully, you're going to hate the experience.
Well,
Why? Because
you're
it's going
always
to
gonna
hurt.
be, yeah. If he removes it from you like that, you're always gonna be uncomfortable. People grow the most when they're uncomfortable. If you are not uncomfortable, you are not learning.
Yeah, but I'm
Well,
gonna
let's
move.
just sum it up truthfully. Growing is uncomfortable. Change is
It
uncomfortable.
is.
Facts.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's going to always be
Yeah.
uncomfortable. If you're in that situation, it's because you're going to learn the lessons. You had to get snatched out
Right.
because you didn't do it on your own. You
Yeah,
didn't
God,
see what you needed to
God
see
dragged you up out of
yourself.
there,
So the highest of the highs is going to have to snatch you out.
and
Yep.
They trying to get you on your right path
And
to
it
make
ain't
so
gonna
you
be
can get to your
easy.
and
person.
it don't feel
So
good.
but it's not supposed to feel good because if you
Not at
listening
all.
while you was in it,
Right.
you would feel good because you'd have followed instructions. So now you got to go it the hard way. So it's
I,
not
Yep.
going to be a walk in the
Yep.
park. It's
so
okay.
Yep.
It's not a walk
Exactly.
in the park.
growing
Exactly.
in life is like
Yep.
going to the gym. If you go to
I
the
can't wait to
gym
put this on YouTube.
and if you go to the gym, right, you working out because you trying to build something, you trying to your muscles is reacting, right? And it hurts because what you are doing now is you pushing your body through a certain period of time and your body is like, what's going on? It's pain, it's growing, your muscles are stretching. These people who work out that do six-pack body, they've been in pain. They know what pain feels like. And yet they
Exactly.
know like if I don't go through pain, I cannot progress.
Exactly. Exactly.
Pain is a necessary
Are
investment
you a
for
motivational speaker
progress.
too, man?
No, I'm just
I
real.
thought I thought I was the only one in here. Come on, man. What is going on,
I'm just
man?
a, I'm just a, I'm just a I'm just a
See,
realist.
I'm just
And
a
and when I
real one.
say a realist, I
Me
really
too.
think of the facts.
Like all of us in here are.
Like I didn't
I mean,
I
because
didn't
when you go through something is when you become the most wisest in your life. You now
yeah.
start seeing things in a different perspective. As I tell
Yep.
people, you get a speck of glasses on. You now gonna focus on things you never focused on. You're more
Mm-hmm.
gonna pay attention. I think people just get afraid that it just seems like it's too long. Well, that's not how
Yeah.
it works. Everything is for a reason. It's gonna come as it's a process. It's a process.
Yep.
So
Uh-huh.
Yes.
if it's a
How?
process. So just because you left it, don't mean you just gonna be healed. It's a
Yeah.
No.
process. You finna go
Hey,
all the
Yeah.
way back and work it forward. So now you can let that go to see nothing but forward. So healing is a lifetime. I don't know how when I get on here and I hear people say, oh, I'm healed. No, ma'am, because healing is a
no, you're
lifetime. You
not.
lying right now. You
Healing
lying right now.
healing
You lying
is a
right now.
Healing is
process that never
constant.
stops, just like
It will
It's
growth.
never
constant.
stop. You will do it every day until you leave here.
It's
Yep.
I always say
That's
You didn't get broken overnight. What makes you think you're going to get fixed overnight?
But that's the thing. Once you get broken to a point where you are healing,
You're
you
really
don't
not
never stop
broken. I
healing.
just say you're bent. You're really
No,
not
you're
broken. You just
fragile.
got bent.
I say
Yeah,
you're
you just got
fragile.
bent. You just got bent.
I
Now
tell
you
people
just gotta
this:
flex
broken
yourself up
crayons
to
can
be
still
stronger.
color, baby. Broken crayons can still color. A broken pencil,
Exactly.
Mm.
if a
So that's
broken
why I don't
pencil with
say
the
it's
right time can
broken.
still
You're not
write.
broken. You just got bent, and now you're just being redirected to see your actions because every action comes with a reaction. So be okay with sitting in it. Stop running from yourself because that's who you're really running from the gate anyway. So go on and catch the fade with yourself, deal
Oh,
with
And
it,
yeah.
and
that's
move
the
on.
You're
deepest
only
thing to
running
do.
from yourself. You're
It's the
only running
hardest
from
thing to
yourself.
do. Once you get started, it becomes very easy. Just people get afraid of change. I don't know what's on the other side. Well, go on over there and see before you just judge it and just stick over here.
Yeah,
I
'cause
wa-
if you don't go over to see, then you don't have an option.
But people are genuinely the ones that are scared to go are the same ones who swear that I'm grown. My life has been this and my life. Yeah, but yet you are
Damn
still the
right, because
same
they got
minded
all the
person. And
answers.
guess
They
what we
know
see?
everything.
We see
They know
that you
Hmm.
are
everything.
not growing. You still get
They know
angry. You still
everything.
and I'm not even trying to take away nobody chance the time from healing. But if you get triggered by the same thing that triggered you 3 years ago, bruh, you ain't did nothing. You're still
Hey, I asked that question the other
You're
day
in a
to Shay. I
stagnant
was like,
moment. You're still in
when when
stagnant.
does
You're in a
when does
stagnant
a
moment.
mistake become a habit?
a
When does
mistake becomes
something
a
that
habit
you
when you
keep doing
continuously do
become a
it.
habit?
When you continuously do it, you know what the problem is. A lot,
Exactly. Exactly.
a lot of people be like, "Oh, I already did that. I'm not gonna do that again." And guess what they do? The same thing
Do it
Do it
again.
again.
And
again.
then when
Same
you,
thing we
and
did
then,
when we was drinking and stuff.
and
I'm
then when
never
you
get
tell
that
them
drunk again.
exactly, it's the same type of stuff. Man, before I get through this, I ain't gonna drink no more. You drinking
I
next
swear.
weekend, bro. Apparently, you haven't learned that when you get drunk, you can't maintain what you
Kev,
need to
did I just
maintain.
meet a me? I have to have met a me for the first time on this TikTok. I just literally met a me.
Who me?
I
Right.
be there. Some people don't see the way you saying it is the way I see it.
But I
And
get on here. I got to follow her
I
right now,
can't help
right? I
but be
follow this
direct.
lady.
I just gotta call it for what it is.
I call
I've
her.
been there. I'm that person you was before. I just took the time to
Yeah,
fuck
bro. But
and
don't
heal.
say you
I'm
ain't
not here to
again.
hurt you. I'm here to give you the gems that you need. I'm here to give you the message.
Okay,
Now
so
it's up to you
it's a
what
follower.
resonates for you and leave the rest behind.
So it's a woman that I follow on here, right? And every time I get in her live, she's talking about how men need to do this and men need to do like every single time I get in there, I be like, at this point, lady, just just go be a man. You got it figured out to a T. Please just go take that role because you keep you have your traumatic experience in repeat, and the people that are consistently here is now letting you pour that trauma on them. So guess what they think they could do to be on the same page as you? Pull out their trauma. And the moment that they start pulling out their trauma, they're reliving it and triggered all over again. So they're not even looking forward to progression. They're looking backwards, which is still not allowing them to go forward. So why do and I told her, I said, why do y'all get on here and y'all so mad? Y'all so mad. We're not mad. We're just bringing awareness. But the way you're bringing awareness is sounding very angry. Like you ain't let go of your problems.
Right.
Like I can't change nothing
Yeah.
that happened between me and my ex. Hey, more power to you. We went through the relationship. It's over. We move forward. That's it. I don't need to go back. I don't need to relive. I don't need to be triggered. I don't need to go off. I don't need to be mad. I don't need to do any of that. Like it's over with. It's done. These people be sitting here like, well, I was married for 10 years and my husband cheated. Girl, and you, how long you not been single? I've been single for 5. So, and you're still looking
Well,
backwards.
how long did you let him cheat before you caught on?
I, I allowed him to cheat on
And
me
that's the
because I
thing.
felt
No,
like it would
nobody's
get
talking
better.
about what they learned from.
No,
What
because
do you learn from it?
they want to
I
live
mean,
in a
because we all
traumatic
have sat
spiral.
there to hope that person does. For me, speaking from a woman,
Coddler.
but you gotta heal, and you gotta take accountability for just yourself. You can't worry about if that person took accountability. That should not stop you, and that shouldn't have you up on this hat being a man hater. That was one man you dealt with that wasn't good. You didn't heal. Going back to the corner because you still got to go sit over there because you ain't healed nothing if you still mad at every man
Mm-hmm.
you ain't been with,
Go
What
sit
kills
in your
me,
and
shit.
that's vice versa.
what gets me, because I didn't
It's
mean that
both.
word. I'm sorry. What gets me is that people will sit back there and they will sit back and ride in the car of the pity party. Man, girl, I did the same thing. Man, bro, I dated a woman and she walked. Bro, what do you expect people to do when a relationship is over? She walked out of my life. Was the relationship over? Yeah, bro. She wasn't gonna sit there. Relationship was done.
Right.
And
And you
people,
know that
a lot
happens
of
on both sides, though, Touche. That happens on both sides, and both parties need to realize when it's done, it's done. Go do your
yeah. And I
work,
mean,
and don't
it
worry
takes
about what
some
that
time.
person is doing.
It takes some
And
time, but
that's
I
what
mean, but 3, 4 years down the line, bro, you need to be over that now. Three,
I
four
had to
years, you
get on
gotta
a
go.
dude
Yeah,
like that
that
You
before.
know that
part.
that's just those women and men that just go and jump into something else because they really didn't want to deal with themselves, so they found something to
Yeah, because
solution their
nobody wants to do the
problem.
Exactly.
shadow
To
work. You
cope.
know why? I'm sorry, Kev.
You gotta do the shadow work. God
But
damn it,
people
Touche.
scared to meet
Where the hell
You
did
themselves.
you
have to
come
do the
from?
shadow work. If
Yeah,
you
I
don't
know he
look
be
at
on that bull,
yourself,
man. He start getting on this like, nah. I know he got life outside here, but I was just saying, this dude be
hey,
on
Man,
some shit
Touche,
though.
I be
and
here, man. I be
it was
here.
like that
I ain't
question
too willing to
I've asked
follow too many
before.
people, but you definitely got my follow, my brother.
Oh yeah,
You're
I
for
you're
follow
sure,
you
man.
I
back.
already
Don't worry about it.
followed
Every
you,
I
time he
Touche.
come in here, man, he be
No,
on point.
I'm not at one of these top tier. I have a lot of people following me. I mean, as they say, my voice is soothing, but I can be direct at times. I do have to keep it real across the board.
No,
I
that's
don't just,
understandable.
I just don't put it on me. And this is a whole. Stop
Yes,
separating this. This is a whole.
thank
But
Stop
that's
you.
what
sitting
I
on
get
this
at
app
is this.
talking
Have
rhetoric over here about this particular woman and why you mad at this. That sounds to me like you need to go home and sit and get you a therapist and meditate
you want to
because
know
you
why men be
tripping
mad
off of
most of the time?
you're
Let me
tripping.
tell you. Let me tell you why men be mad, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say this anyway. And if I go through getting in trouble for saying this, I'm gonna say this: men really just be mad when a woman move on because somebody else hitting that uchi wally now. So now you upset, but it never was yours in the
I'm gonna
first
agree
place.
to that, and that's on both sides though, because women will hold them kids because somebody else is
Yep,
there. That's a two-way street.
yep.
That's why I
That
be mad.
really
That's
is
why
a
I be
Women do
telling
the
two-way
women,
same
street.
thing.
Women
and
do the same thing. It's why you have a lot of women that be holding these kids because they ain't done. Well,
I
honey, it
mean,
was
but
already done.
yeah, it's
He done.
over.
You
But
got to
you
figure
know,
out how to be done
you know
and
who,
stop
you know what a
involving the
hurtful man
kids. Because
told
when
me.
this dust is settled, it only affects the kids.
I ain't gonna lie, that's the truth. But you want to know what somebody told me in the part of during my heartbreak before I started my shadow work and healing? He was like, "She got kids, right?" I said, "Yeah, she got kids." He said, "Oh, so that means she was getting it cracking before you met her?" I said, "I guess, yeah. I mean, she got kids." He said, "So what made you think that she wasn't gonna get it cracking after you?" I was in a, I was mentally sad at that point, right? Mentally, I didn't even know how to even like accept that fact in my mind. But then I had to realize he not lying. I didn't teach her none of these tricks she know. I didn't teach her this. She came to me with knowing this. So what
Prepared
makes you think what we did, she not gonna take to the next? And ever since then, I just be
experience.
like, hey, it is what it is.
Hey,
And
I
it may come
did
off as
actually. Uh,
Yeah, to me, I see it differently because I got to connect with you mentally. I
yeah,
vibrate way
yeah,
too
women,
high
yeah,
to
women and men
attract
different on that
a
end.
low
Yeah,
vibration. So it's not
yeah,
gonna
but see
matter
that's
if
the
he
that's the
had
that's
children
the thing with men,
because
right?
his mind has to sync with mine. So I'm okay with
yeah,
him having children.
yep.
I'm
Men
not
and
gonna
women, yeah, they
base your
different though.
past off of where you've already healed at. You deserve an
Exactly.
opportunity.
So I
You
got a
deserve an
question for you.
opportunity as well.
Okay, okay, so I got a question for you before because I gotta
You
ask
can
you.
ask
Do you
both of
have any
us.
kids?
I do.
Okay, so it's dip like this is where I feel like I think me and Kev had this conversation before. This is where I feel like now I've changed my dynamic. It's nothing wrong with women with kids, right? Because I was with a woman for 4 years and she had a son. Where my problem came from is when we broke up. Her words that came out of her mouth was, "He not even your son," but you
Yeah,
didn't say that.
she was just bitter. Oh, she
Hey,
was bitter.
I'm
She
gonna
needed
play
a
the other
lot
side.
of help. She needed a
I'm gonna
lot of
play
help
the
to even
other
let
side
that
on this
out
because
of her mouth. She needed a lot of help because in
that
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 4 years you was there, that's what that child seen you as.
that happens to women
Yeah,
too,
I went
Touche.
through that.
It
That
do.
happens to women too, Touche. Because, and I've shared this story on this live before. I was married for 17 years and raised three stepsons, and I'm currently married with two stepsons. They're all of age now, but I've been a part of their lives. I have no kids of my own. So how does that? how does that shift my angle? What
I
I
mean, I
gave.
can't I can't say how does that shift your angle, right? Because some people
Well,
are
I'm
willing.
asking myself that question. Like,
Oh, okay.
does it? Yeah, does that shift my
It's more of
angle?
the choice that you chose to make.
Yes, it was the choice that I chose to
And that's the
make
greater part
to
of you
be.
because you
It,
still stuck with all of the children. Not all people do that.
oh yeah, oh yeah, because
You know, when it's done, it's like you
I'm
done with the
still very
kids, it's
close to.
all.
I ain't gonna lie. I
Because
miss
my
little man,
relationship
right?
with those children are different than the relationship that I have with my ex.
I ain't
So
gonna lie to y'all. I miss little man, but I even realized that she had
And I'm
already.
sure he missed you too. I'm really
Nah,
sure.
he'll miss
I'm
me.
I
pretty
I
bet
much.
get
he
that too. That's
does.
actually my ex though.
I'll bet he
I'm gonna be
He
does.
may
honest with
not
last
you.
person
show
I
it.
was
He
with.
may not show it the way you want to see it, but he does because you were
No,
there for
I
four
He
seen
years. He
him,
remembers
right?
might.
you.
Let me tell y'all. Let me
He's
tell
gonna
you what
remember
set
you.
me. Let me tell you what set me off, right? I seen him. I'm like, "What's up?" I ain't seen him in about a year. Bro just gave me a head nod and kept pushing like he ain't never met me. I was
That's
like,
Dang.
his.
"Wow."
That's not him. That's the mama.
That's
That's
There's the mama, yeah.
yeah,
that's the mama. The mama put that in his head.
feeding him with stuff
She
because
said
she
she told him
That's
lost
why I
you
you.
said
can
that's hectic.
always
That's
tell what
hectic to deal with. Cause
that's
I
you can
would
always
literally
tell
my ex with
not
my
for
ex
you, and you can learn it through the kids when a woman hasn't healed. You
Well,
can
she
see
went.
yeah.
how she
Well, that's
That
the
feels.
thing. Well,
That's the parent that put that there. What
what just
happened?
happened? What happened? I ain't booted it.
What were
Oh
you saying, Kev? You had the same
nah.
experience?
Yeah,
my
my
bad.
actually my ex, I was saying that seemed like I booted him. But what you was saying? I don't know what happened.
I no. What I was getting at is, what I'm understanding is this: when a relationship ended, right, we got in a heated argument. And I said it was over. But I didn't. You know how you be in the heat of the moment. But she made me eat them words. My homegirl came out to me and told me, "Hey, she did you let a day go by talking?" I said, "Bro, a day didn't go by talking to her. We didn't talk for a couple of hours, and I called her." She said, "Oh no, she was already ready to go." She said she was ready to get up out of there. She didn't want to stay there. She used that as a reason to leave. I'm
Yep,
like, okay. Well, then, if that's where if you didn't want to leave, if you wanted to leave, then why did she continuously come back? She said she came back to you because she knew that you was a safety net. She knew how much you loved her, and she knew that she just didn't want to let it go at that point.
My
She got,
DoorDash. My DoorDash.
she felt she. Some my friend was also like, you know,
Well, the other
um,
place wasn't open.
I'm like, what DoorDash?
The Georges,
mute.
But
or Grumpy
I
Toms, yeah,
basically told her
they
straight
weren't
up.
open today.
I told my friend straight up. I said, well, my problem is that you playing both sides of the fence. The dude that she ended up dating, I kind of somewhat knew of him. So I asked him in a moment. I said, "Are y'all dating?" He said, "No, we just friends." I said, "All right." But when the way she responded to me one day made me know that it was something, it was more than friends. "Oh, you had your friend ask or pull y'all to the side or what?" I was like, "I never had them do anything." I said, "Well, you're so upset. This guy must mean a lot more than what you making him mean." She didn't want to, at that point, we we did not talk. I separated myself from her. I unfollowed her on social media. She came out to be in a relationship with a dude. She had a kid. Oh no, she came out to be in a relationship with him. Something I seen her son. I'm like, "What's up?" We was at a mutual gathering. I seen him. I'm like, "What's up?" He looked at me. He just gave me a head nod and kept pushing. I said, "Oh, okay. So I'll see how this go." And then I just didn't say. We just never spoke. She did have a child. Of course, they, like I said, they are in a relationship, and I was like, "Well, that's kind of crazy. That if you wanted to leave, you could have just left. Why did you wait on a weak argument? We had, mind you, we had been through a lot of stuff. Like, why did you wait on an argument to leave when you could have just got up and just walked away? You could have walked away." But like I accept the fact too, like I took responsibility. I let my temper at the time get the best of me. But now, like I said, it's harder for me to just date a woman with kids because I don't even want you to throw that in my face. That's something I don't even want.
What the? I apologize for my line of question, Kevin. I should have
Yeah, I
screened.
don't know what happened, Kevin.
Oh
You
no,
must have
you
got.
good. I was just already still talking. I was it was weird because I was just still in the middle of just talking about to incidents like that or whatever. It was just I don't know. Yeah, you good, man. I was just
The
talking
power of hitting
out
this,
loud. That's all it was.
the power of hitting exit button on this app be crazy to me sometimes. Cause I be listening to people, I be like, I could just exit, I could just leave, I could just, I don't gotta sit here for this. And people be like, well, what happened to you last night? I exited the conversation because I don't join pity parties. I don't want to sit in a pity bus.
Yeah. I was talking about and that's actually was my ex. I was I can't say stepdaddy, but yeah, I had a dated a chick with a daughter and stuff. And it is crazy. That's the reason why I be trying not to prefer my dating me
Oh,
myself a chick with kids and stuff, because it is kind of hard on the man though, because you build a connection with her, and then the simple fact that you even took the child in too with it at the same time, that takes a lot for a man to do that, and then people don't understand that. And you doing that, and then you still don't think I got love for you, or I love you, or whatever. That is some crazy stuff. It'd be like, then whatever. But it is hectic when it's split across, and then it's like the child, you know what I'm saying? You done bonded with the child, you done got love for the child and all that stuff, and then, that junk just gonna, it just switch over.
now
That
he
junk be
looking
so
at you
weird.
like, I don't even know you. Who are you? Like, wait a
Yeah,
minute, bro.
right. Right. I was like, man, I said, yeah, that's a crazy experience, but it is what it is. I said, man, if I did do a split up, I don't want to be split up in multiple ways. I'd rather be that with that person.
I think it's
Since I,
different when they're older, though, too, or how the length of the relationship went. Because I just had dinner with my 23-year-old twins that I helped raise for 17 years. And you get to a point to where it's like, do you crave the relationship? Do you want the relationship? Are you going to allow that? But if the
I
other
feel
person
like
doesn't allow it, is it on them or is it on you?
I feel like because his mom went about it the way she went about it, I'm just gonna chunk it on the chin because your mom obviously didn't want me to be in your life no more. So I'm gonna respect her on that. At 18, you could take that battle up with your mama. That ain't got nothing to do with me, champion. Love you.
Yeah, that part.
I
That
love you,
they
part.
do
but
that
you
to the
can
real
take,
father too.
huh?
I said they do that to the real father. The next minute the father be getting, the kids mad at the father because the woman done kept the kid away from him and stuff, and that just be crazy. It's sad though. It's sad that
But that's
the
like I
kids
said.
be
That's why I look at
thinking.
it like this. I'm not about to sit back here and be like, "Hey, can I talk to your son?" I'm not doing that. If I run into him when he get like 18, oh man, I remember you saying, "Yeah, well, what happened?" You need to ask your mama. Go on, ask your mama what happened,
Hmm.
and whatever she tell
You'll be
you.
surprised how kids really be knowing what's going on, though. They
What's
really do.
crazy is
Kids are smart as fuck.
I don't
Yeah,
even
they
think
are.
that she'll tell him the truth though. I think she'll sit there and tell him that little sugar coated lie.
So why do you think like certain women or even men? I mean, we'll go with both genders because I don't want to have
Yeah,
a
let's no
divide.
gender
Why
wars.
do
No
you
gender
think they
wars.
keep our Why do you think children are thrown into the mix?
Because I think people really just know that the power, like you gotta understand. Some people use that as their trap card, right? That's the same reason why some people be in a relationship, have kids, and they be like, you know what? I'm not really happy here. Oh, well, you're not happy here. I can't go back and do this. I can't do that. I can't do that. So you don't need to. Like people play tit for tat too much. But I always tell people like the way to
Mm-hmm.
approach a relationship in this day and age is be okay with somebody being there and being okay when somebody leave. Because at this point in age, this generation, they will leave you because the seasoning in your food ain't right. They find any way to leave. So at that point, you just got to be like, hey, you know what? Whatever. They got this mindset that
Hey, yo, I'm
it's
about to
so
have to
many
call it now.
people.
It's
They
late.
got this mindset that there's so many people in the world that another if it's not if one person don't work, then they might. Man, you only meet your soulmate a couple of times in life. You only meet them a couple of times in life.
That's a fact. That's why I
And
tell a lot of
That is
women
so
and
true.
men that if
So
you have
true.
children and you know you're just merely dating, Know when it's time to introduce your children. You need to really get to know that person mentally, physically, financially, on all areas before you start introducing your children in. You got to be able to do that. You got to be able to do that because the children are the ones who create bonds. And when we end something, the children don't end it.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to
And don't
know.
let the kids be old enough to like really make a decision on their own. Some parents don't like that. No, well, I want to go kick it with so and so. We're not together. We why you, bro? Ain't nobody about to sit here and argue with you about that. Them kids is this, like I said, this new generation of kids. Boy, I wish I would argue with my kids in the future.
Hey,
You,
do you
You
guys
right
want
about
to
that.
know? I think I brought this up in the other live the other day.
But hey,
Do
Kev,
you want
you
to
know
know
I've
what
been
the
up
new
with you for a long
generation
time. I got to
of
get up out of
children
here. I'm
are
so tired.
called?
All right, yeah, because I got to dip too,
I
though.
got to
That's what
get
I was
up out
about
of
to
here.
say.
It's most appreciated, Touche. I've definitely followed you. I
go ahead. What?
appreciate your conversation. You're very intelligent. Lovely.
Thank you.
As
Yes,
always, you already know what it is. And anybody in the
as
comments, peace
always.
and prosperity your way. Make sure tomorrow's better
I
than
love you,
today.
Empress.
Good
For
night, you
sure,
guys.
for sure. Thanks again.
What was you saying, Lovely?
Um, so I had a student tell me the other day because you know how we go off. You have the baby boomers, you have Gen Z, you have the millennials, you have Gen X. I had a student tell me the other day, and they're like, "Do you know what the new generation is calling themselves?" I was not aware. They're called the Zoomers,
Oh yeah, that's
and I
Gen
was
Z.
like, "Zoomers." The Zoomers. And I was like, wait a minute, that's like the opposite of like a baby boomer. Like that was what my idea was. But they're coming up. Our children are so neglected to society. They're being so represented into social media or into technology or into all this. They don't have the same skills that we have, but we still have to embrace them. We still have to indulge them in because their creative ideas are very powerful. So I was like, whoa,
No,
you
they
guys got a label
are,
too?
but
How does that work?
their attitude is they will leave you in the drop of a dime. They do not care.
Oh yeah,
Like
they'll
my
tell you like it is.
like my grandpa and them probably was like living a certain life that they live and we live a certain life, but it is what it is. I don't know. But I ain't gonna lie, I'm finna go to sleep as well. I'm
For sure,
tired.
man. Delete some of your people so you can see me, man.
Man, I be
But
seeing you on here. When I see you on
oh,
here, the hard thing about it is they be banana in me, man.
oh, dang.
You
I
have
be
a
Uh
being
lot
oh,
of followers too, Shay.
speaking
I
too
saw
real
that when
around
I
here now.
added you. I was like, man, you're gonna be dropped every once in a while.
man.
That's
That's
probably
every
why
two
I don't go
weeks.
live. I
That's
don't go
every
live. I'll sit on platforms. I'm on Kev's and on a couple other people, but man, once I go live, I know I'm gonna hit that banana.
Yeah, man. It be like
That's
every
what
two
she
weeks.
said.
I be on solitary confinement. But I would get.
Oh yeah, it's true. It's
You're
true.
in the
You can
hole.
finish it. It's over. say less.
Yeah, I'm
I'm gonna
about to
Yeah,
catch
knock
let's
up.
out.
say less. I
I'll
don't
talk
know.
to y'all later.
That's a word we
All right, for
cannot
sure.
use. Damn, you dropped too.
Mm-hmm. But all right, I'll be on tomorrow, man. Try to do this. Try to do it daily, man. For real, when I can. I ain't doing nothing else with my life but playing a video game. Might as well grind and get
That
help
was a
people.
good. It was a good conversation, though, Kev. You're doing
Yeah,
good
most
work.
of. Oh yeah, for
Don't
sure.
stop stopping.
Yeah, I won't. That ain't my goal. This, especially not this year. I'm trying to start off hard. It's 2023. We gonna get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Much appreciative.
Oh yeah, for sure. I see you though.
Same.